Hey, greetings everyone. How y'all doing? Yeah. So, I really should have probably prepared an entry script for this. Yeah. It's a lore stream. It's a. I'm gonna start doing these semi-regularly. I'm calling it Loretism, because of course I am. But yeah. The thing I want to talk about today, because I like tanks in 40k. I decided to bring my buddy CDAT on. He's been on stream plenty. You should all know him a little bit. He is a long-standing veteran of operating tanks. So yeah, CDAT, why don't you tell us a bit about your history?
Okay, thumbnail sketch. I was in the U.S. Army from 1988 to 2010. Of those 22 years, 20 was on tanks. I started on the M60A3. I've been on the Sheridan, the M1, the M1IP, the M1A1, and the M1A2 up to and including the SEP2 variant. I have deployed in Panama under Operation Just Cause, Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm. I was part of the initial Thunder run into Iraq, and other notable was the Second Battle of Fallujah, where basically the Army and the Marines decided they didn't like a particular town and it was going to go away. So I've served at every position in the vehicle. I've served at every position in the platoon, up to and including the platoon sergeant. I did make first sergeant, but that was with a supply and for fuel and ammunition, which, trust me, that's an education into and on itself. Understanding the logistics is truly where you become a professional in the military. So, but yeah, this all kind of started because Bo noticed that I got very triggered by a lot of 40k tanks.
Yeah.
I love the setting, I love the lore, but
CDAT is making it his mission to collect every 40k novel ever written. The whole idea of this was we were playing. It was actually pretty certain it was Space Marine 2, and we were doing like the campaign co-op, and it was the mission where you walk by the Imperial Guard mustering for the final battle against the Tyranids. And we got to the part with the tanks, and that was when he just started like pointing out everything wrong with a Chimera.
Loretism.
Yeah, and I was like, I need to get this guy on stream to talk about to talk about the tanks. I need. It's a rare opportunity when you get to have a professional opinion on something like this. Like a topic like this, especially in relation to a sci-fi setting. But yeah, that's the idea. We're going to be talking about the tanks of the Imperial Guard, and this don't misunderstand. We're not going to be hating on the lore here. It's just that kind of like, okay, here's the thing, and how it say would or would not work in reality. Not like an appeal to not an appeal to realism so much as this is obviously where this was designed by a bunch of British nerds in a basement who have never actually operated a tank before.
For example, one of my favorite book series is a book called Hammer Slammers. They're 190-ton hover tanks that fire energy weapons. I mean, obviously, that book series was written by a tanker, and it's a mercenary unit. So I am 100% on board with science fiction vehicles. Just some of them are so off the reservation as far as what they're capable of doing. I just chuckle to myself.
Yeah, it's like it's that kind of thing where even if you enjoy a thing, the more you know the thing in reality, the more you notice all the flaws. It's like you can't help it. I do it myself with a lot of things as well. But yeah, on that note, let me turn this stream music down a little bit. There we go. On that note, we're gonna start off with the original, the one everybody knows. Where is it? The Lehman Russ.
Here we go.
Yeah,
SWAT deploying.
Young underscore 27,737
Hey.
has joined the crusade.
Young 27737, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Crusade. Love to be part of fan community. I've got a active invite to the Discord in the what do you call it? In my info on Twitch. There's also one on my Twitter account if that one doesn't work. So you can use either of those. Okay, so yeah, the Lehman Russ.
So, okay, just to get an idea. Now, is that a projectile main gun or is that an energy weapon?
All right, okay, so we're using Lexicanum as a quick reference for all this. But hold on, I don't think I have the actual. All right, I've got multiple pictures of the Lehman Russ. Here it is. Oh wait, nope, that's the wrong model. One moment. All right, Lehman Russ battle.
By the way, I fully understand the tank commander screaming because that's
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the basic pattern. It's let's see, where's his its main armament is just called the battle cannon.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume that is a projectile weapon.
It is a
unless it specifies otherwise.
It is a okay. According to this, is a 120 millimeter smoothbore gun.
Okay, something I am intimately familiar with. Spending the better part of probably 17 years with a vehicle with a smoothbore gun, 120 smoothbore. Number one, that's really big for a smoothbore, but 6 of one, half dozen the other. I guess my biggest problem looking at it is that gun could fire once per tank commander. Because the recoil, even in today, is 13 inches. So that breech comes back at 13 inches with enough power to pulverize concrete blocks. Homeboy ain't gonna do so good.
Yeah, because
I
mean these are really big guns. They have a ton of recoil. Most of it is absorbed by, the tank, the body of the tank. But all the same, there needs to be something to catch a good majority of it, and that's the breech. The breech actively flies back when the gun is fired.
Right. So there's it's called trunnion pull, and it is absorbed by hydraulics, springs, everything they can think of, and a war shot will still rock an M1A2 back 2 road wheels off the ground.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. There's a lot
of recoil. I mean, if from my uneducated perspective here, like the thing I would immediately notice, and this is just me, all right. The barrel looks really wide for 120 millimeter.
Yeah, it is
compared to like say the Abrams. And the other thing, this is the one you obviously noticed. That man's about to be Cotton Hilled the moment that thing fires. The way he's standing and the way he's positioned.
Right. Yeah, he's got nothing from the waist down. It'll just be a torso.
Yeah.
And that's not even going to take into account loading. That turret is infinitely small, so you're going to have to load probably a 1 or 2 piece round from below. And again, there's still mechanism. The one thing the Imperium does not make is small, compact equipment. Everything is on a ridiculously oversized scale.
Yeah.
So the loader is going to be half. It's going to be the turret itself. So, yeah, unless he's literally a servitor, that bolted into the turret or into the tank commander's position, he's going to have a bad day.
Yeah, and for context, if I remember correctly, the Lehman Russ does not use auto loading. The ammunition, I think, is all one piece. So it is a single, it's not like, say, projectile charge, as 2 separate things. It is a 120 millimeter brass shell.
Yeah, and you're gonna, with that short a barrel, you're gonna have a very low pressure gun, so you're not gonna get a lot of puncture. It would be a good siege gun for firing squash heads or high explosive rounds. You're gonna have a hard time getting any sort of force. tanks are just like every other firearm. The longer barrel allows proper burning of the powder and acceleration before it leaves the tube. Because, of course, once it leaves the tube, unless it's rocket assisted, it's now a ballistic round. It's literally it's whatever energy it has, that's all it has.
Yep.
It's not going to acquire any more.
And that's going to run out over distance.
Very quickly.
And for context, I do believe Lehman Russes do not fire Sabo rounds that I'm aware of.
Okay, that's fair. The slab side, I know the Brits love that design. They love that slab side design, but it is hideously impractical. Those sponson guns are great as long as nothing's coming. I can't see that there's a rear sponson gun, so I'm going to assume that's a heavy bolter.
Those
it can deflect to 90 degrees out from the hull.
Yeah, those are heavy bolters. Considering those are guard issue heavy bolters, I believe those are they're 20 millimeter guns. They're 20 millimeter cannons basically.
And the other thing that's kind of impractical is that side shield, that rhomboid shield that actually makes up the track guide. There's no room for the track to flex. It literally is just barely protrude. So in other words, if you go over rough terrain, there's road wheels, suspensions, there's springs, there's torsion bars, there's oil suspension shock absorbing systems in modern tanks that have to be able to bounce up and down. The road wheels, which is actually what takes the shock, attached to the torsion bar system, there's nowhere for them to go. They can't go up. They go up and the track follows them when they go up, and the track's literally going up inside the hull.
Yeah, so basically it's like a lowrider car. It may look neat. God help you if you hit a speed bump.
So, but the las cannon, the bow gun, whether that's gunner fired or they've got a bow gunner. That could be considered a coax weapon. So
if we're talking okay, let's go to this page, the data page on all this shit. This thing has let's see. It's okay. Lehman Russ battle tank. It's made on Mars. There are 33 known patterns. It has a commander, a gunner, a driver, a loader, and 2 sponson gunners.
That's a lot of people crammed into that.
That is 6. That thing can. There are 6 people crammed inside this thing.
Right, and I mean, and as we were talking before the broadcast started, the engine. It's an ICE engine, internal combustion engine.
Yeah, it's
Where's the fuel? Where's the engine? Where's the transmission?
It's called a HL230 V12 multi-fuel engine. It's kind of a thing. The engines, from what I understand, the engines in Imperial tanks are designed to run off of anything you can cram inside of it.
Right, they're like the Abrams.
Yeah,
you can burn anything. You can burn kerosene in that thing.
Yeah, it's got that extra little bit of the fact that Imperium tech being the way it is, they're building this all off STC patterns. Sometimes combining multiple patterns to make one thing. Like say, they got an engine and then they got a tank. They got a tank with no engine, so they put the engine in the tank. So it's kind of the thing. And one thing I actually like about 40K vehicle design is how it's how the Imperium tanks are. They look old, but they do have a lot of advanced tech in them.
Yeah,
but
for example, the engine. Okay, that's a V12. When you put the engine and the whole assembly is called the power pack, which is the engine transmission, which are bolted directly together. Where? Where is it? I would love to see. And fuel tanks. Whoa!
if you can see this bit, you see that vent kind of right behind the turret.
Yeah. That's probably the air intake.
Yeah, I want to say from that point down at the back of the tank, that constitutes the power plant because there's the exhaust ports or the exhaust vents.
So, yeah, there's the exhaust. There's the air intake. So that's fair. It might be a slant or a vertical Well, and again, not to be. There's a lot of little elements they include in this that I do like. The track tension system at the front, that kind of funky little thing that's all the way at the forward point of the rhomboid.
Yeah.
It looks almost like a shell.
Yeah, this thing.
Yeah, that's a track tension system. That's actually a nice touch. I like that they've included that. The toe hooks at the front, the toe points.
Yeah.
That again, extra armor on the turret, because trust me, nothing makes the crew happier than knowing there's another layer of metal between you. I like the anachronistic spotlight, because even if your high-tech sights go out, you can still blind them with the spotlight.
Also say from a tech perspective, probably the best extra gun on this thing, because this thing has 4 guns. You know, the battle cannon, 2 heavy bolters, and then the las cannon. The one that, I mean, if we're talking like from a futuristic and space saving perspective, the one that makes the most sense is the las cannon, because
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's
No ammo.
yeah, it's just got like, you can either just like run a wire between the gun and the power plant, or connect it to its own battery.
Yeah, battery capacitor system, something
Yeah.
like that. So.
Yeah. I would imagine, though, they're probably connected to the power plant.
Yeah, yeah, like almost like an alternator, like a car, where the power plant generates electricity, and then that charges the gun to fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like I said, I get it. I love there's ventilation in the system. Yeah, no, that's it. That's a good point. It could be IR.
Yeah, it could be.
When I I briefly trained on the M60A1. I am that old. That we had a spotlight where you could flip it and go from IR to white light. We even practiced gunnery using a spotlight until they finally just took them away from us. My first duty post was Korea, which the joke was when you arrived in Korea, you set your clock back 20 years. I carried a 45 pistol. I carried a grease gun. The grease gun, like you've seen in the gun tuber videos.
Yeah, little like
I carried a 45 pistol. Yeah, 45 pistol and a submachine gun.
Stamped sheet metal SMG that costs like $23.
At 19, I was the youngest thing on that vehicle, including weapons systems. So,
what do you call it? Yeah, going back to the technical specifications. So here's more tech specs of this thing. Let's see. It weighs 60 tons. TONNES tons. That might be I don't know if that's like a different
metric tons, maybe, or
maybe.
I don't know.
It's 7.08 meters long, 4.86 meters wide, 4.24 meters high, 45.45 meters of ground clearance.
Ooh. Foot and half of ground clearance.
Goes 35 kilometers an hour on road, 21 off. We went over the battle cannon, the las cannon, heavy bolter, 360 degrees traverse, elevation from -8 degrees to plus 22 degrees.
So that's 50. Okay, that's like 15 miles an hour or slower.
Yeah.
Wow. That's yeah. I mean, this is almost like an infantry support tank from the post World War I era.
Yeah.
Where you didn't want to outrun your own team. So
yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, some countries they swear by that system. So
okay. So we were talking about like space inside. 40 rounds of main gun ammunition.
Yeah, that's what the Abrams carries. The M1A1 and the higher models were 40 rounds, which they've got them spread out all over the place. I mean, they've got the big blast doors, but it goes across. If you've seen what's called the bustle area of the Abrams, which is the rear part of the turret, that entire area is ammunition. It takes up that entire rear area.
Yeah, it's that whole back part of the turret. It's designed with shit like blowout panels in case it takes a hit.
Yep, blast doors and blowout penny. When you go to load, you hit a knee switch, and the door, a door that's gotta be 4 inches thick, rolls open.
Yep. And then
that's how you load it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, according to the secondary ammunition, you want to talk about vagaries here, unlimited or 600 rounds.
Oof.
Okay, so let's go with the low ballpark figure on this. 600 19.05 millimeter rounds for 2 heavy bolters. I'm going by millimeters, not caliber, because
Yeah. So you've got 300 rounds. 25 Mike on a Bradley. They don't carry massive amounts because bop 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 bop. You got to be very, very, very careful with your firing.
Yeah, you're not.
You don't have to necessarily fire a lot either.
Yeah, because it's like the Bushmaster on a Bradley ain't designed to. It's not designed to spray. It's still designed to shoot precisely.
Oh yeah, after that, they actually, in some ways, if it's dialed in right, can be as, if not more accurate than an Abrams.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we all heard that story at Ukraine of the guy that's the guy in the Bradley who took on a Russian T-30 something. I forgot exactly what, and no shit, knew to shoot it in the turret ring to penetrate it because he played War Thunder.
Yeah, if he was using AP and he got very, very lucky, he cracked that ring. So.
Yep. But yeah, it's like, yeah, so 600 rounds of 75 caliber, or if you're feeling nasty, 19.05 millimeter bolt rounds for the 2 guns. All right, the armor. 180 millimeter superstructure armor, 150 millimeter hull armor, 100 millimeter gun mantlet armor, and okay, this says the turret is 200 millimeter. Oh, the turret is 200 millimeters of armor.
Yeah, it's going to depend on what it's made out of.
Yeah, I'm
depleted uranium mesh, Jello pudding pops. There's
okay, right above that, the side armor of the Mars Alpha pattern consists of. It says the material is solid plasteel. So we're talking sci-fi bullshit metal.
Yeah, I was going to say it could. Plasteel seems to be one of those metals, a bit like ceramite, that's every bit as strong or weak as they need it to be.
Yeah, like ceramite, I can imagine is some kind of high-tech ceramic composite. Something like that. I don't know what the hell plasteel could possibly be. But it is what they're armoring this thing with. So
I know I always need plasteel and dark tide. So
yeah, can never have enough of this shit. I'm always tripping over diamantine. Can't get enough of the plasteel, and that's supposed to be the rare shit. Like
right.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the technical specs of this thing.
So yeah, I mean it's it just puts me in mind of, like, if you look at 1920s tanks when they were desperately playing around with designs, trying to figure out exactly what to do with this beast that the Brits kind of dropped on the world in 1915. They were like, hey, check this thing out. And everybody's going, wait a minute. What does that do again?
Yeah, but we're not done though. We're not done because there's variants now, and this is mostly going to
there's more.
but I'm not done yet. This is really just going to boil down to alternate turret weapons, but based on what we were just talking about, that could change things up, of course.
Sure.
So the second one, this is the Annihilator, Lehman Russ Annihilator, and the main turret weapon on this one are 2 las cannons. Oh,
okay. So yeah, that makes a little more sense just from a both ammunition and crowded ass turret point of view.
Yeah, because this goes back to talking about the prow that prow mounted. I guess you could call it the prow. I don't know. Las cannon on the last one, because this would be as easy to load as running a wire between the gun assembly and the power plant.
Now, I've not knowing anywhere near what you know. Now, are these servitors manning like the bow gun or the sponson guns? Okay.
No, they are human. They are fully cognizant human soldiers.
I bet they scream a lot.
Probably. The thing is, though, the thing I can imagine though being a bit of an issue though with the energy weapons is heat.
Yes, yeah. Now we're going to be tapping into BattleTech world.
A little bit, yeah.
Where are the heat sinks?
Yeah, yeah. It's heat level critical.
You better be rocking some clan tech on that thing. That's all I can say.
I want to say the actual heat sinks on the las gun. I'm going to zoom into this image. The actual heat sinks on the las gun are these this bit right in front of the where it's mounted on the turret. It's those discs,
Like a thermal shroud. Oh, okay, almost like what are those the guns that the Krieg carry?
The
got those
Hellbore las gun.
Yeah, very similar kind of setup as the Hellbores.
Yeah, because because on any kind of energy weapon, you need you need it on any kind of gun. All guns generate heat, but on an energy weapon especially, you need good heat sinking.
So yeah, you're definitely going to generate some heat, especially two of them. Your storage system's going to have heat. Your heat's going to have heat.
Your capacitor's going to have heat.
And Emperor help you if you're on a desert planet, which is kind of what that looks like.
Yeah. Oh man,
little bit of experience being in the desert. It sucks.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Oh yeah, and because we mentioned BattleTech earlier, it's like on desert planets. That's usually in the games and on the tabletop. That is a negative modifier to your ability to bleed heat.
So, but yeah, and there could be other systems. They could have heat exchange systems built in there somewhere. I'm gonna say that's probably an IR light on our right there left.
Yeah. This bit here. I'll also shout out to the fact that 38,000 years in the future, they're still using the Bren gun.
I was gonna say that last vehicle. It made me nervous as a former tank commander that he did not have a cupola-mounted weapon for the commander. Because whether I hit anything or not, there's a lot of satisfaction to just laying down some hate.
Yep.
From my own personal machine. We had 50 cals, so.
Yeah, and this is just something I'll bring up here because you're going to see this on a lot of these tanks as we go through the screenshots. The Modus M2 Browning and the Bren gun, both in common use in the Imperium of Man as heavy stubbers, they're called.
I just realized I'm being so critical, and if you look at my my icon on the screen, it's literally me in a walker tank.
Bitch ain't got no legs.
Lieutenant Dan, your tank ain't got no legs. So, but yeah, and again, no hate. We're just having a little fun with this. But,
yeah.
The offset driver, I've actually driven a vehicle with an offset driver's compartment, and it's imagine, especially that poor bastard, imagine you have one little tiny periscope, you're offset from the center line of the vehicle, and if the commander's busy like he is right now, you got to make sure you don't run off, over, or around anything.
Yep.
So the driver right there he's hating life with that one little tiny periscope. So.
That periscope looks like it's just begging to take a shell,
Oh yeah. It's a shot trap of all shot traps. So.
It's like you gotta see, but then it's like the endless struggle between opening up the tank to damage and letting the driver see. That's probably why we use cameras most of the time these days.
Yeah, either night sights or cameras, and I do like the fact that they do have some bottom armor. So many times I see like big gaping holes in the underneath of sci-fi tanks, and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna.
That's begging to take around.
I love that they have literally bolted on armor. It's not welded. We're going back to World War II. We're gonna bolt that shit.
Yeah, it really lends that feel of the Imperium, how they gotta, how the Forge World's gotta pump these things out quick, like they're needed on battlefields everywhere, like yesterday.
And then there's the Baneblade. What is it, a year per vehicle?
Yeah. No, we're gonna get into the Baneblade. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
we're gonna get
God,
into the Baneblade.
I both loathe and love that vehicle. So.
Right. So next though we got the Lehman Russ Conqueror. This one uses what's called a Conqueror cannon,
It's probably like a siege gun. Would be
It
my
is
guess.
I'm looking to see if it Conqueror cannon, short barrel version of the battle cannon. Okay, so for context, this we still got we don't got the picture of the original up, but so this is considered the short barrel version. Even
Yeah, I mean, if you look at a Sheridan
Mhm.
or a M728 engineer vehicle,
yeah, because
it's a pretty short barrel. Yeah, it's a 162 millimeter.
yeah, because you drove a Sheridan, you commanded one, and that got me looking into the Sheridan a little more, and I was like, a stubby ass gun on that thing.
Yeah, it was actually the demo rounds were more for bunker busting. It was designed to fire the Shillelagh missile.
Oh yeah, I've read all about the
Is it-
I've read all
Yeah.
about the disaster that was the Shillelagh missile.
Oh God, the shitbag missile we called it. I'm glad we didn't have any.
Well-
I'm really glad we didn't have any.
Well, I mean, your other alternative was those experimental caseless rounds that not all of the propellant burned, that could blow up the next round when you're trying to shove it in the barrel.
For those listening, the Army, in its infinite wisdom, neglected to actually send us main gun ammo on the Sheridans that we took into Panama in 1989. I basically got hijacked on my way home from Korea, my first duty station, to command a Sheridan. My experience in the Sheridan consisted of, here, read this book, kid. So, and they made me a tank. They made me a Sheridan tank commander, and they dropped us in and did not give us any main gun ammo. And afterwards, I was like, so we were just rolling machine gun bunkers. But after reading it, and like Bo mentioned, it's probably best, or we might not have brought any Sheridans home.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, because it was a barrel. The barrel was designed to, like we were saying, to fire two things: the Shillelagh missile, which was a piece of shit. It was from that era where I guess the Pentagon didn't really think that tank shells would be viable going forward as tank armor was improving. It was really kind of a weird era for tanks.
Yeah.
And the other one was a experimental kind of caseless tank round. Because if you know anything about caseless ammo, the idea is that the case is the propellant. It's a solid propellant, and then the case burns the case burns away as the gun fires, and then you don't need to eject a case. You just need to load a new round. And the whole thing with the Sheridan round was that I've read is that it used this kind of an experimental caseless tank round. And the problem was, not all of the propellant would burn. It would leave some like cooking in the barrel, and then you'd shove another tank round in there whose case is basically made of propellant. And you can imagine how well that would go.
It's funny because they ended up settling on something that has worked phenomenally well, which is the incendiary case round. The 120 millimeter fires a round. There's just a base plate. I mean, it looks like an ashtray when it's done. The actual case is made of paper. It's incendiary paper. So it holds it all together just long enough to get it in the tube. The tube actually acts as the focus to keep the blast going in one direction. And all of that paper ignites and flashes away. It's like flash paper for anybody that's ever played around with that.
Yeah.
And all that comes out is an ashtray.
Yeah, you just pop you just pop the flat back end of the shell out and stick a new one in.
Yeah. So it was when the Army was really playing around a lot with wire guided missiles, and everything was about wire guided missiles. The TOW was just starting to really come together, and they're like, "Yeah, brother, let's just fire it, make everything wire guided," which you need a lot of training to fire a wire guided missile.
Yeah, because
people try to fly the missile. They try to actually steer the missile. Just hold the sight on the target. But if you think about it, like many of us are gamers, if you see the missile, what are you going to do? You're going to try to steer the missile.
Yeah,
You're going to try to aim it.
Oh, believe me. I have zero military experience. I was a little too gay for the military back when I was coming out of high school. But thanks, Bill Clinton. But My closest frame of reference for this shit is always going to be video games. So just so you know that. But I've always fallen into the trap of trying to, launch a wire-guided missile at a fast-moving target. It's like, well, that was a waste of ammo.
Yeah, you're literally curving it, trying to catch the target.
Krypton says your missile toe can't stand against my toe missile.
Oh god. So yeah, I would say that's probably a siege gun. There's I think it's the M728 engineering vehicle that also has a 162, and it fires just. They went back to a hard shell case missile, 162 millimeter, and all it is a giant blob of plastic explosives, and it squashes the target and then detonates.
Oh yeah, it's like a is that
it's a demo gun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm thinking of I don't know if you ever seen the meme. We own that bish. Big
squash heads.
Yeah, high explosive squash head. The Besh comes from, I don't know if this is an actual round type, big explosive squash head. I don't know if that's an actual type.
We had the Hesh, which was the high explosive squash head. So I think it's just a play on that.
Yeah. That's a Russian Badger meme. Okay, about this cannon, it says, the Conqueror fires a bigger round. It doesn't go into the diameter. However,
how big is the round? Bigger.
However, the reduced recoil from firing the Conqueror cannon, generating a force only 190 tons, provides the tank superior accuracy when on the move. The lighter gun, though, is ill-suited for urban combat.
Well, I don't know. You could probably do some serious damage to a building if you put a 162 or a 150 millimeter basically blob of plastic explosive against a wall.
Oh my god. Hey, we were just talking about the Sheridan and your experience with, like, say, the Shillelagh missile and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think somebody at listen, because we're talking like the model history. The Lehman Russ Conqueror variant was a Forge World model, right? And if you ever get a chance to pick up the Imperial armor rulebooks, like the old Imperial armor rulebooks, do so.
I've got a few of the old ones.
They are some A+ military sci-fi autism. I will say this. So this was designed by the Forge World guys. I think they may have been looking into your little our little Panama shit show of a tank, because these are the rounds this thing can fire. High explosive.
I was just looking at the auger. Yeah, that is a Hesh round.
Yeah, here we go.
That's a Hesh.
High explosive, anti-tank, smoke, illumination, and hunter shells.
Ooh, like a anti-tank hunting missile.
I don't exactly know what a hunter shell is. There's no link to it, but that almost sounds like a guided munition rather than a ballistic shell.
Maybe like a javelin style thing, fire and forget.
The auger shell, which is similar to an HE shell. The impact detonator is triggered when the thin shell wall splits open and the soft plate. Yeah, that's just a Hesh.
Yeah, that's a Hesh round right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So so they own that Hesh basically.
The hunter shell, I could make a joke that would probably get you in a lot of trouble, so I won't.
Please no, I like my channel. But all right, next variant. This is the Demolisher. This is the Lehman Russ Demolisher. Immediate thing I'll point out, once again, side sponsons are meltas on this variant. Meltas are just one of those, multi-melters are just one of those things they can all take, but if we're talking like...
Okay, that is definitely a demo gun. That is a bunker buster gun. That's entire purpose is, you see that building? Yeah, I don't want to see that building.
Let's see.
So, and that's definitely an urban combat. I would classify that an urban combat vehicle.
Yeah, the Demolisher cannon, a powerful short-range cannon, equally effective at destroying buildings and bunkers as is enemy tanks and infantry. It's a Sturm Tiger. It's a Sturm Tiger gun.
Yeah, what is that, like a 180, 190 millimeter? I mean, that gun is massive.
Demolisher.
Again, I'm not sure how you get the round in it. I'm just gonna have to say that it's space fuckery going on.
No. Okay. From the stats down here, they can fit 25 of those shells in this thing.
I, boy, I'd like to see where.
I'm kind of wondering now, like, because I mentioned the Sturmtiger earlier. Like, I know that thing could not fit a lot of ammo in it, and that thing was massive.
See, it says it has a range of 1 kilometer, and I'm like, that's maybe, but you gotta. I mean, you're not arcing around it; you're lobbing that shit like a softball.
Yeah,
You got an arc on that round.
yeah. You are shooting at big dumb objects that don't move. You don't need a whole fuck ton of range or accuracy because you're hitting a bunker. It's hard to miss.
But yeah, like I said, that would be a great, in my opinion, urban tank. As crappy as urban combat in a tank is, literally, there's an entire training session called Mount, which is Mounted Operations and MOUT, Mounted Operations in Urban Terrain, and literally the first page of the book says, "Don't go into urban terrain." It's like, if you have to, this is what you do.
Yeah,
and yeah, Fallujah definitely taught us that tanks in cities are no bueno.
yeah. I'll take just one Joker. Like one Joker with an RPG-7 hiding in a building and that you didn't see, and even if the RPG-7 can't penetrate the armor, it can still fuck your treads, and then you're in different kinds of trouble.
Yeah, I'd be hanging out of the hatch talking because I worked. I had my Marines. That's what they were literally my Marines, and these guys would be on the little phone in the back of the vehicle, and I'm going blah 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 blah. All of a sudden, I'd see some guy pop up with a rocket launcher or a rifle, and I'm like, oh crap! And I'm dropping down in the hatch. So
yeah,
that's why homeboy here's buttoned up because he's smarter than I was.
Yeah. And of course, speaking of hatches, right behind the cannon again.
Yeah, it's like. I mean, in modern tanks, at least American tanks, the gunner and the tank commander are offset from the gun.
Yeah.
Even the loader reasons. Is. Yeah. I think it's 12 tons of recoil, 13 inches, and nothing's going to stop it.
So. Yeah. Because I've seen the insides of tanks, and usually they got gunner on one side, loader on another, or something like that.
Yeah, the gunner's on one side, the gun, the loader's on the other, and the commander's crammed up into a corner trying to stay out of the way of everything.
Yep.
And for those that haven't, as big as tanks seem, by the time you put in weapons, armor, engines, ammo, gear, radios, electronic fuckery, everything else that goes in there, the crew has minimal. I spent many a night sleeping sitting up.
Yeah, because
there was nowhere to lay down.
Except for the driver. He was the lucky one. He got to lay down.
Oh, yes. Drivers, at least in modern M1s, they lay almost flat, which is why you will find most tank commanders are chatterboxes, because they're constantly talking to the driver going, "Are you awake? Are you awake? You better not be asleep, you bastard. You better stay awake."
Yeah. The if we're talking interior space in a tank, the other one I remember is that people say the the Merkava.
Oh yeah,
the Israeli tank. The Merkava, I know some people think that's an IFV because it's got the rear door that you can go in and out of, and it's they've got that rear exit hatch, but I was looking into this actually because this is something I was looking into recently, and that's there to act as emergency transport of the wounded. It's not there to be to actually carry troops into battle.
Yeah, even when it came out, everybody assumed that you can carry a full squad of infantry. No.
From what I understand, that was strictly because at the demo of the Merkava, they displayed the door ability, but the rear door, by having some extra dudes inside the tank to open the door from the inside and step out, and this started the rumor that the Merkava can transport troops when it's even if you're carrying the injured troops, you're throwing shit out of the tank to fit them in.
Yeah, and the Israelis came to the understanding that the crew is more important than the vehicle. A lot of Western countries never quite figured that out.
Yeah.
So if the crew does have to bail, you're going to bail at the ass end of the tank. You're going to put as much of the tank between you and the guy shooting at you as you can.
Yeah, lots and lots of metal between you and whatever's coming at you.
So yeah, and it's a different design philosophy at the end of the day, but
they don't follow BattleTech rules, which is what which is what forget the meat, save the metal.
Yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that.
that's yeah. Because well, the mech is probably what 150 years old if you play like the older version like I did.
Oh yeah, like 3015 rules. The mech is 500 years old. They can't make more.
Yeah, you're expendable.
Yeah.
Mech, not so much.
There's plenty of mech warriors. There's only one of these. But yeah, that's a demolisher, siege tank. Now we've got this is the Eradicator.
But I kind of like that demolisher. That's the funny thing of all
Yeah.
the ones. It's the one that makes the most sense for its role in life.
Yeah, yeah. This is the Eradicator. This has a, let's see. It has what's called a Nova Cannon. It can target the enemy from
an energy cannon. Yeah.
The Nova Cannon. Okay. I'm hoping there's a link to the Nova Cannon. Oh, there's no technical specs for this one. The Nova Cannon mounted on the Eradicator fires heavy, high-caliber shells that are easily capable of blasting apart barricades and any infantry and vehicles hiding behind them. While lacking the range of the Vanquisher Exterminator's main gun, the Nova Cannon can target the enemy from greater distances than the Punisher Gatling Cannon and is capable of engaging more heavily armored targets. However, the shells fired have particularly unstable reactor cores, which can result in premature explosion during the loading process.
A freaking nuke round. This is like the U.S. Army in the 50s.
Oh yeah, with the fucking with the Davy Crockett. With the Davy Crockett.
Yeah. Here, Sergeant, you don't mind using this, do you?
Say, well boys, we got new ammo for your Jeep mounted recoilless rifles. What is it? Nuclear bombs.
The bomb cannot fly as far as the blast radius. Sucks to be you. Where are you going to be? Way over there.
that sounds like a you problem, soldier.
Oh yeah. Boy, did you nail the whole thought, the chain of command? I'll tell you. But yeah, that's a weird gun. It's almost like it's got an external heat dispensing and almost recoil system, you know?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, Captain Pip, that too. The 16-inch nuclear artillery shell that they put on the Iowa.
Oh yeah, yeah. At least it was on a battleship. At least it would fly far enough to not take out its own user.
And a battleship at sea is going to be able to brave the shockwave a little better if it is close enough to be hit by it.
Yeah, the Private Snuffy Smith.
Yeah. But yeah, I have no idea. So I have no idea why the cannon looks specifically different. But again, this could be like Mechanicus being Mechanicus.
It's firing a nuke.
And their whole thing with STCs. I can imagine with how dogmatic they are about tech. They're like, okay, this gun fire this shell, no arguing,
Yeah.
But so probably why the gun looks different. But for a Nova cannon, I can't imagine it's actually a nuke. Like, even like
unstable.
If I had to guess what it is, it's probably something where it's probably some kind of not like a fission warhead, but it's kind of like a plasma fusion kind of thing.
Like a napalm or something like that could explode in the chamber or something. Maybe
it's a thing. It's like a thing in The Expanse, right? Because did you watch The Expanse? I don't remember.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, the non-nuclear torpedoes in The Expanse they had a warhead that basically it was like the drives they used. It just It just when it set off, it produced a ball of fusion plasma that would then melt through the armor of the target and go off inside the ship.
But it's a non-nuclear round, so
yeah, it's not nuclear. It's more like a plasma gun round,
Okay, fair.
But everything needed to make the plasma is inside the shell. That would also explain why it might go off prematurely as well. Because I mean, let's be real here. Imperium plasma weapons do have a bit of a premature problem.
What's the joke? Does this weapon misfire often? No, this weapon misfires once.
Yeah, it's the old saying. This is my plasma. This is my the guy with the plasma gun. The old saying for them is this is my plasma. This is my gun. it's like this is my plasma. I rolled a 1, and it's just a charred skeleton.
I like the added touch on this one. They actually put in smoke grenade launchers.
Yeah, some of those some of those have that. So sometimes they have that. It's because it's a little bit you glue on the kit. So obviously it's not always going to be there if somebody doesn't want to have it. It used to be an optional thing. Like it's just built into the vehicles now, but it used to be an optional thing, so people wouldn't always model them on.
Fun fact, always have those. The smoke grenades are not like chemical smoke like most people are used to or think of. It's red phosphorus, which means completely according to the Geneva Convention, you cannot clear troops off your vehicle with a smoke grenade launcher.
I don't know if you remember. No. I remember when we were watching Venus Wars the other night. When the main character he had 2 of those 3-barrel smoke launchers on the front of his bike. That he used during the end fight.
I'd rather not be like out in the open when they fire off. But...
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, that thing bonks you. It's gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's phosphorus, so phosphorus doesn't care.
Yeah. All right. So that's that one. That's that one. Now this is my personal favorite.
By the way, what's Cadia? No, that's a joke.
It's a pile of rocks. Don't worry about it. This is my personal favorite. This is the Lehman Russ Executioner. This is the plasma cannon one. Yeah. So this one's falling. This one kind of falling into the same thing with the las cannon variant,
Where does all the shit for the weapon go?
But you see, it's a little different because because plasma guns actually require ammunition because they, it's like a kind of like, it's like a gas that's like pumped into the gun and then compressed and superheated, and that forms the shot. Which is also why plasma guns can fail, because it's like electromagnets creating like an electromagnetic envelope containing the shot, like containing all that superheated plasma into a ball to fire with using like a coil gun. But
about magnets, how do they work?
Yeah, exactly. But when that fails, that's when the plasma gun,
boom.
Cooks the operator when that containment field fails inside the gun.
I guess my biggest thing about this one is I see a lot of exposed shit.
Wiring and shit.
For a vehicle weapon, you do not want your shit hanging out loose.
Hey, I'm certain that would operate just fine after a dust storm.
Oh yeah. I mean, absolutely. There's no way.
For a little extra context, see those little side slats on the barrel, the tip of the barrel. Those are the cooling vents. If you have to cool the gun down, it's designed to vent the heat out those.
The crew gets out and pisses on the barrel.
Yeah, that's why I was bringing up like dust storms. Like you imagine, like you go to vent the gun and those things are clogged with sand.
Let's see. Interesting things. I assume that's just supposed to be sci-fi fuckery. Almost like a vent system or a heat sink system on the turret right in front of the Roman numeral 8.
Yeah. It's probably some kind of like extra heat sinking or venting location.
But I love the tank commander too. It's I feel that pose right there. Go that way, stupid! Go that. Oh, for
yeah, drive me closer. I wish to hit them with my sword.
Hey, there's a reason they still had cavalry, which I spent a lot of time in armored cav. We still had sabers.
Yep.
You just never know when.
So. There's a little bit of there's a little thing I love from one of the 40K novels about the executioner though. So the whole thing with Lehman Russ executioners is they're very rare. Like I want to say either they aren't produced anymore or they're produced so rarely that getting one in your regiment is kind of a big deal. So it's something like like the operators will fight hard to keep their tank going no matter what, right? Because they're so like such rare and valuable vehicles. There's a bit in, you remember Double Eagle, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because remember there was that sort of side story with the tank column trying to escape
Oh.
the desert.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when you first meet that cast, that sort of main cast of the tank column side arc, they have to abandon their Lehman Russ executioner because they have to abandon it because it's basically broken down, and they don't have anything to keep it going, so they have to just abandon it. And they're saying when we turn this war around, we'll come back for you, to their tank, like.
Well, I mean, machine spirit, you never know.
Yeah.
Tank could be like, okay, bro, I'll be here.
Plus, I could just imagine, that, when you like a vehicle, when you like how it operates and you fought with it for a long time, you get attached to it,
Oh, you yell. Number one, they always get a name. I'm sure you've seen that enough. And they're always female.
Yep.
I've never met a male tank. It's probably because of the temperamental nature, but I don't want to get too deep in that. Sorry if any ladies listening.
No, I get you on that one. See that? Yeah, because it's not even the only other setting or reality itself, as you just said, where that's a thing. I just really like that story for some reason. Like, it starts off on that note.
And Captain Pip, I really wish you'd quit telling stories about my career. Because I've kind of been in that situation.
Oh, wait,
Main gun's firing, the loader's firing a machine gun. I'm looking the wrong direction.
Oh, right. No,
the gunner's reaching up going, hey, Sarge, yeah, you need some coffee? Now?
No. This is Pip is quoting something it's from like a British tank museum. It's a plaque on a wall that says the reality of operating armored fighting vehicles, and it says. Yeah, and it says exactly what he just typed, which is this is what the plaque says. It's exactly what Pip typed, which is, I'm yelling, driver advance. The tank is moving backwards. The 75 millimeters firing. The 57 millimeters firing, but in the wrong direction. And amidst all the chaos, someone hands me a cheese sandwich.
Yes, literally. The loader's firing his machine gun. The gunner's firing his, and the driver's like trying to throw me an MRE.
Yeah.
It's
it's like that one story you once told me where there's like someone in the tank just hands you an ice cold Coca-Cola out of nowhere.
I don't want to. Yeah, we're in the desert. We have been in the desert for weeks, and suddenly, they basically call it, okay, everybody stand down, index, battle over. And I go back over, and my tank commander hands me down an ice cold Coke. Now this is for those that are kind of a military history nerds. I was in the Battle of 73 Easting. If you've read about that, it was basically, don't believe what the books tell you, we screwed up. We weren't supposed to advance that far, and we ended up going basically 10-1 odds against the Iraqi elite forces, and somehow pulled it out. I still to this day can't really tell you, other than good tanks and good training. But when it was all said and done, and we're standing there, and the Iraqis are surrendering in droves, and everything is burning, and my TC leans on, he goes, hey, and he hands me a Coke, and it's ice cold, and I'm like, where did you get ice? Where did you get a Coke? What am I I've been up for 4 days. This is just, it's just pure psycho level shit.
I guess it was, I guess after the experience that was 73 Eastings, that was kind of the tension break.
It really was. Well, that and the fact that we discovered we were all black. So
yeah, just covered
from the charcoal.
Yeah, soot, ash, just firing a tank cannon and firing a cannon in a fucking metal can for hours.
Well, not just that. We wore chemical suits and they were impregnated with charcoal.
Oh, right. You're right. Yeah, I forgot because everyone was worried about the use of chemical weapons.
So at the end, we're stripping them. We haven't changed uniforms in about 5 days. And we strip them off, and everybody's skin is charcoal black. And I can't repeat what one black NCO said, but he basically said, well, we all know good N-bombs around here. We were so hysterically tired. It was the funniest thing we'd ever heard in our lives.
Yeah, you had to pass for 5 minutes, man. But anyway,
dude, I'll tell you this much: in the military, I know I keep hearing stories. I don't remember racial issues. because man, ain't nobody got no right to be better than anybody in that world.
But yeah, next variant. Well, okay, first of all, again, shout out to the Bren, still existing 38,000 years in the future. This is the Lehman Russ Exterminator. This is a double-barreled autocannon variant. So these are like, I'm guessing this is like I'm guessing it's the equivalent of like a.
Yeah, that could almost be an anti-air or a anti-infantry, anti-aircraft.
Yeah, I'm guessing if I had to draw a real-world comparison, it'd be like two 40 mics strapped side by side on one turret.
Yeah, what was that? There was one that had twin 40mm bore force guns. It wasn't the Sergeant York. This was actually a functional weapon.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna say you're describing it fondly, so I know it's not the Sergeant York.
Well, the Soviets also had the ZSU 57-2, which was twin 57mm guns. But the Gepard. It was a German weapon. Amazing thing. It could open up a house like a can opener. Jeez. Yeah, that's actually a fairly effective. A little underarmed on the side. The problem with these high flanks on these vehicles is this is kind of what started all this when we were in Space Marine 2, and I'm looking at these, and I'm a Space Marine, and I'm looking up, seeing the top edge of the vehicle, and there's no way to shoot down.
Right.
There's no way to cover your flank.
Yeah. Because if we have time to get to the Chimera, the Chimera APC, you'll be seeing that again. Those weird guns on the side.
Yeah, which I mean, those are real. BMPs had them, Bradleys have them, but they still deflect down enough that you can at least shoot somebody coming at you. There's nothing that Bren is going to have a hard time deflecting over the right-hand side as you're in the hatch. I'm actually we see the Aquila.
You see, I'm actually wondering. The thing I'm wondering with this is, it doesn't look like it can actually swivel the. But we're just gonna look. It's a heavy stubber. Yes, we're just gonna call it a Bren. It's a fucking Bren. All right.
It looks like a Bren. It acts like a Bren.
It's a Bren. It's a Bren. Yeah. I can't see where you would actually swivel. Like, okay, so it looks like, there's no swivel on the actual pintle mount. So
it does look fixed, doesn't it?
I can only imagine there must be some kind of ring.
Well, there's a cupola ring. We had a lot of stuff like that. The loader's weapon was actually fixed. You would swing it on a cupola ring.
Yeah,
and a big skate. We called it the skate ring.
Yeah, like I can only imagine like the whole cupola just has to turn to aim that, or you can only aim it because otherwise you can only aim it forward.
Well, if you look at like an M1 series, the cupola does turn. The 50 caliber or later on the Crows system is fixed forward firing. It goes up and down, but you have to turn the whole cupola to fire in any other direction. But even if you do deflecting down, whatever that dome is, whether it's a search radar or some kind of...
Oh, I see it. I see what you're talking about. Just above.
Yeah, you're gonna have a real awkward moment on that right there.
Yeah, just like could you imagine? Just like there's a cultist, cultist on your right side. You turn the cupola ring. You try to aim down. You're just bonking the turret on that thing. You can't hit him.
And by the way, GW, if you're listening, Bo and I are negotiable for redesigning a lot of this stuff.
Oh no, I would redesign this shit to save my life. I love how dumb it looks.
All right, then I will. I guess I work probably fairly cheap to some of your people.
Hey, and listen, how about this? GW, GW. I know you ain't watching, but if you're watching, y'all made Warhammer TV a thing. Add VTubers. I'm available.
You're entirely too controversial, though.
Probably, yeah.
Everybody loves Bo.
All right, so right, yeah. So that's fairly, that's fairly.
But I mean, the weapon idea is quite brilliant. You get a nice bow gun. You've got a great anti-light armor, anti-troop, or anti-aircraft weapon system.
Yeah,
kick it off right there.
The only thing I can imagine might be a problem. This goes back to the interior turret space again. Is two 2 breaches that need reciprocate, like room to reciprocate, and also the like. If those things aren't belt fed, I can't imagine.
They'd have to be. You'd have to have feed chutes.
Yeah, so you need feed chutes and then a pair of magazines. Now, I imagine a 40 millimeter autocannon rounds probably easier to fit than like say those fucking demolisher cannon rounds we talked about earlier. But at the same time,
you still have to have a recoil, you still have a breach system, you still have to have an ejection system,
and
somewhere for the brass to go.
And it still apparently has a turret gunner in there somehow.
Yeah, somehow he's crammed in there, which he might be in the tank commander's lap, and that's going to bring up a whole new consideration for the 40K world.
Oh god, no, like remember the dude in the first Lehman Russ image? He stands on the gunner's shoulders. It's like it's like the whole 2 ratlings in a trench coat thing,
Yeah, it probably would be at this point.
All right, so that's the Exterminator. Next is you're gonna love this, CDAT.
Oh god.
The Lehman Russ Punisher.
By the way, for those wondering, CDAT is a computerized dumbass tanker, which is kind of a backhand description that other army troops would use for us. Originally, we were just dumbass tankers, but then when the M1 came out, they're like, well, they got all that computer stuff, so we got to give them a new name. Oh no, don't, please, come on, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me with that thing.
Okay, so basically, somebody at Games Workshop designing a new variant decided to take the A10 principle of they didn't build a gun for the tank, they built a tank for the gun.
I mean, I guess if you had what's called a casemate turret, which is an unoccupied turret, you could probably pull that off. We're not even going to talk about ammo storage or ammo feed.
Yeah, so something worth pointing out, because the obvious comparison here is the A10, right? Yeah, the A10, the GAU-8 Avenger. That's what it's called, the GAU-8 Avenger on an A10. If you ever have a chance to look at what one looks like outside of the plane,
yeah, Bo's right. They built the plane around the gun.
Yeah, the entire back side of the gun is it's bigger than a Volkswagen. The ammo box, the ammo feed, the belt going into the gun, the actual mechanism of the gun. It's like you'd have to fit all of that inside a tank to have a tank like this.
Now, to be fair, the United States Army did come up. If you're familiar with the 113 chassis, the cheese box, they did make an interim anti-air vehicle out of that. They basically took a Vulcan.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It's like
the M163.
Yeah.
And they basically put a Vulcan turret on top of a personnel carrier and crammed as much ammo as they could into it.
What the fuck? What was the name for that thing? Other than the designation number, it had a designation number.
We just called it the 163 Vulcan, but
yeah. Yeah, because I know which one you're talking about. I've seen pictures of it. It's like, and I want. It's like its big problem was that as you can imagine, ammo capacity.
Oh yeah.
I want to say they actually had to slow down the gun. It was slow down the gun so it didn't chew through all the ammo in 3 seconds flat.
The other thing is it was basically in a beer can. Yeah, there it is. PIVADS. Thank you, Dickos.
Hey,
product improved Vulcan air defense system.
Yeah, Nikos413, welcome to the chat. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, because that I can only imagine they would have to slow this gun down so it wouldn't go through all the ammo in a second or two.
Well, and again, the other thing is it's basically in a beer can. If something hits that vehicle,
that's an ammo explosion just waiting to happen.
It's vaporized. But yeah, the PIVADS wasn't the worst weapon in the world. And when it fired, everybody cheered because it sounded like a A10 on the ground.
Yeah. It's actually another thing to think about with this recoil, because I mean, here's a fun little fact about Gatling guns. Jesse Ventura in Predator, big dude, right? Big fucking dude, bodybuilder, strong as fuck, right? when he fired when he was firing the Old Painless, his Gatling gun, so fun fact about blanks, blank rounds still have a little bit of recoil. They don't have a lot because there's obviously less pressure inside the barrel because there's nothing actually between the powder and the exit, right? But it still produces some recoil, a little bit.
It has to cycle the system, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because they adjust Hollywood blank firing guns to have less recoil tolerance in order to cycle the blanks versus normal bullets. But that Gatling gun Jesse Ventura had in Predator, Old Painless, despite firing blanks, he still had to brace himself against a metal brace off camera because the sheer force of all those blank rounds going off would have pushed him on his ass otherwise.
Yeah, in the Army, we don't have anything like special rifles, so we just basically put a big screw into the end of the barrel and tightened it down so to block the barrel so it would fire blanks.
And that's the thing about now, if you think that recoil is intense, now imagine if all that pressure is stopped up inside the barrel while the bullet's coming out. It's only for like a couple nanoseconds, but it increases the recoil a ton.
Oh, yeah.
Now take into account when an A-10 fires its Gal-8 Avenger, you can't hold the trigger for too long, or the sheer amount of recoil will stall out the plane.
Yeah, I mean, even when we fire the main gun, even though we have recoil and recoil absorption system, it overpressures the inside of the vehicle, rocks the whole thing back.
Yeah.
And, let's just say that they're investigating whether literally firing the tank gun can give you TBI.
Well, it's not a service-related injury, though.
Well, I was going to say, if firing the gun gives you TBI, I am so screwed.
But so yeah, if this thing, so it's the Imperial Man. Let's assume it's got Gal-8 Avenger rate of fire, okay? So because it's the Imperial Man, they have no chill. Do you think there's a pretty good chance that'd be like, sticking a jet engine to the front of your tank might even push it over, or push the turret off alignment for the shot, stuff like that?
Well, that was my first thought, is did they lock the turret when they fire it? Because it'll even throw the turret off on an M1.
Yeah.
When you fire that 120, that thing, yeah, you're literally going to get a deflection push on the turret. So you're either going to be fighting it with hydraulics, or you're going to lock the turret ring before you fire.
Yeah, if I had to wager a wild ass guess here, that's probably a 20 millimeter gun.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even a 20 millimeter Gatling gun firing at full fuck you rates of fire is could do all kinds of damage. It could, all that continuous recoil, push the turret off target, push the turret up, depending on, push the turret down, depending on how you're aiming it. If you're aiming sideways, it could lift the tank. There's a reason that, guns like that are generally, bolted down when they fire.
Yeah, I mean, even the Pivads, and that was I think a 12 or 13 ton vehicle it was in with ammo, they had to restrict rate of fire because it would start pushing the vehicle around.
Yeah, it's like I've seen the people make the argument, going into bolters for a moment, because, like we were saying, a bolter, 70, a Stardust level bolt rifle, 75 caliber or 19.05 millimeter. The story in 40K is that firing a bolter, like an Astartes bolter as a mortal, will break your arm or shoulder or throw you on your ass, And I've seen people make the argument, well, there are 20 millimeter sniper rifles and we fire those and it doesn't break your arm or your shoulder. But it's always okay, but when you're firing one of those, there's absolutely massive amounts of recoil compensation designed into the gun so you can actually fire it. You have to fire it braced on a bipod at the very least. You know, when it comes to like 20 millimeter cannons that are like people fire from like say like Bofors and stuff, those are bolted down. You aren't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like 20 millimeter has a lot of recoil, but the reason we can fire a 20 millimeter sniper like the NTW-20 is because, again, it is designed with like massive amounts of like recoil springs and like the massive recoil spring, the big ass heavy bolt, absorbing the recoil. You're bracing it down. You're generally laying down when firing. It's all built around that. Where a bolt gun, for example, you're holding that like an infantry rifle. It's a 20.
Yeah, there's no stock. They're hip shooting it most.
Yeah, even assuming it had a stock, you are firing a 20 millimeter round out of what is effectively a battle rifle. That is not going to absorb all that recoil energy very well. And yeah. So 20 millimeter, a lot of recoil. I think this would, if you could cram all that shit into the tank, you would probably damage the turret traverse mechanism firing this thing at the very least.
I mean, we had turret locks. We didn't have to lock it to fire, but I could imagine some kind of, because what we did is the way that turrets would work is they actually just, gravity does a lot of the work of having them sit down inside the tank. There's the basket that the crew rides in. What they have is magnetic brake systems. So if you've ever been around a tank, if you hear the turret, you'll hear this loud "pong," and that's massive magnetic brakes that hold the turret. And even then, the turret will still sometimes swing on its own in extreme conditions.
Yeah.
So unless they have that level of tech or they lock the turret down, it's going to be all over the place.
Yeah. That's the Punisher. It is a. Do they list the diameter of the barrel for that? I can only. They don't. But I can only. Oh, Punisher Gatling cannon. Here we go. No, they don't list the. They don't list the diameter of the barrel for this. But if I had to wager a guess, it's probably 20 millimeter. That's still a fuck ton of recoil amount on a tank.
Yeah, depending on the firing rate, yeah.
Yep.
Unless they fire like bink, 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 bink.
All right, so here's a long boy. This is the Vanquisher. Like, okay, let's check Vanquisher battle cannon just so we know what we're dealing with here. Vanquisher cannons have superior accuracy, range, and first hit kill ratios compared to other cannons. With a barrel that long, I would hope so. And are designed.
Okay, that's getting like a modern battle tank. That's like an MBT.
Such is the power of the cannon that's ammunition that they can even penetrate the thick armor found on Titans, such as puncturing the neck of a Reaver battle Titan. An enemy hit by Vanquisher shell is thrown back. An enemy tank hit by Vanquisher shells thrown back 30 feet, potentially crashing into another tank and exploding.
And Captain Pip, that's called a travel lock. If you see the gun locked down, older tanks do that. Modern tanks, because of the magnetic brake system and the interior locks, you don't need travel locks as much. But when I was still on the M60s and the Sheridans, you would spin the gun over the back and you would literally just pull a brace up and brace the tank and then screw a clamp around the barrel to hold it in place just for that reason. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I was just reading up on it, and for context, this thing fires high explosive, and as they confirmed, it fires Sabo rounds.
Okay, so this is basically an MBT. Okay.
This is just like the gun from an M1 Abrams strapped on a Lehman Russ.
Okay, and it looks like the hatch is actually offset. Holy shit! Somebody was paying attention on this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look close enough, the gun itself is offset.
Yeah, the gun is offset in the turret, which is fine. I'm not sure what I don't know if that's supposed to be a searchlight or some kind of funky IR or ranging system or something like that. I assume that might be the loader offset over there, Hans over there on the side.
I mean, if I remember correctly, a lot of these were released. A lot of these on release were meant for the Armageddon Steel Legion, so Hans not far off.
Yeah. So I always get a real German vibe off a lot of this stuff because But yeah, that's just basically an MBT. You've got the bow gun instead of a coax. You have a bow gun. Fair enough. Separate firing. I'd rather have it under the control of the gunner, but that's fine too.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I can't find a good picture of it, but if I remember this one, correctly, on the other side of the turret, like hidden by the turret itself, in this is a heavy bolter.
Okay.
As a coax.
Oh yeah, I think I can just see it peeking up over the edge of the.
Yeah, like right here, that little
right by the heat shroud. Yeah,
that completely irrelevant iron sight they have on the front of a heavy bolter uses a coax in a fucking tank.
Well, I mean, it's funny. The machine guns we put in were just basically regular. Before they transitioned over, the M60s had M1919, which, if you want to look that up, it was just an M1919 machine gun pinned into a tank.
Actually,
it had a metal solenoid to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could actually take it out, put a grip on it, and turn it into a squad machine gun.
I've seen ones that literally just use like some kind of funky pulley mechanism. It was just a regular ass gun bolted to the barrel. And then it would add like a pulley thing that you would like pull from the inside of the turret to fire it, like going further back,
Yeah, we had electrically actuated solenoids, but still we could dismount that weapon. We carried spade grips for it.
Yeah,
we could turn it into a squad weapon, because the whole point was if you got to get off the tank, you go and grab some shit as you go.
There's also the argument that the Imperium being the Imperium is probably, again, using STCs. STCs say iron sight. You can't argue with the holy STC.
Exactly.
Unless you're Belisarius Cull, he gives no fucks.
Oh god, don't start that.
Oh no,
we're gonna get the Primaris bros in here, man.
I can Arch Warhammer out there probably just sneezed. Okay, but yeah,
he just raised his head. I just felt a disturbance in the force.
This one, it's just like a modern main battle tank gun,
Yeah, that's again, we're not gonna nitpick the turret size. We've already beat that horse to death, but
yeah,
at least, God, that's a big ass bore on that gun, though. Holy crap!
It falls into that realm of design where 40K has, like with bolters, where the bolter barrel, like on the barrel shroud on the bolter, is way wider than the actual width of the round. It's got.
I mean, you're gonna have a heat shroud. You're gonna have a bore evacuator. You're gonna have. Well, I don't know if they necessarily have muzzle reference sensors or all the shit at the front of the gun that you. I'm just trying to picture the Pi Watson, which is the alignment device. Yeah. Knowing the Imperium, it probably weighs 150 pounds. So
yeah, but yeah, if the barrel is that wide, I can, because the opening is way wider than the sort of the secondary part of the barrel, which is like thinner than the back part. I can only imagine if that's actually wider than the diameter of the actual barrel. The side, like the parts of the jacket of the Sabo round opening early and getting caught on that. I hope he didn't like your barrel too much. But what do you call it? All right. Remember we were talking about the Sturm Tiger earlier?
Right.
This is our next one. This is the Thunderer. Yeah, this is the Thunderer. This is a this is just straight up. It is straight up called the Thunderer Siege Tank. This is just a Sturm Tiger, like by any other name.
Wait for it to change here. The mercy of the delay here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go. No. Yeah, pretty much. It's like, okay, Hans, this is the biggest gun we have. It's this big ass gun over here. Okay, cram it in that vehicle.
Yeah. This is just the Demolisher cannon from before, except here's the funny part. Now remember, the Lehman Russ Demolisher are 25 rounds, right?
Okay.
This thing is 18.
It literally looks like in that diagram it had a dozer blade too. So yeah, this is just basically
Yeah.
it's almost like a glorified engineer vehicle. You just roll this thing up and go, yeah, we have a wall in the way. Hang on, I'll be right there.
Yeah. So, somehow this thing, which to me actually looks like, because it's got kind of like it looks like it's using the Lehman Russ hull a little bit, you know.
Definitely the track set on it.
Yeah. But it looks like it's got way more interior room, and then on top of that, it looks like the engine bit is further back.
Yeah. See, no, this one, some autist like me was there because it's like commander, gunner, driver. That means they have to have an autoload.
Yeah. What was the? Yeah, I think, is it commander, gunner, driver? Yeah, commander, gunner, driver. There's only 3 people in this thing. So, but somehow holds less ammunition than the Lehman Russ Demolisher.
Well, I mean, you do have an autoloader in there. You might have some other specialty equipment that goes along with it.
So like it's sacrificing ammo capacity for rate of fire.
Yeah, I mean, why you'd want to fire that fast, I don't know, but
Yeah, especially considering it's a bunker buster. I don't think the bunker's going anywhere.
yeah. If you're going to fire more than one run, you're not aiming at the right spot. Again, they put the side hatches in. Those always crack me up. It's like, let's bail out. Unless they're
Initiating
like
attack protocol 23.
Oh, hold up.
Denzel_Jones has provided 6 reinforcements.
Denzel?
Hey, Denzel Jones. Thank you for the raid and welcome raiders.
Oh,
Tanks for the ride.
Vicar, just for that alone.
So yeah, it's like, but yeah, it's like these side doors are just kind of funny to me because again, that's just those have to be thinner than the actual hull.
Yeah.
So those are just begging to, and that's flat. That is like flat armor. That's just begging to take a hit. You know.
I mean, the main point, the reason, one of the reasons the M1 gets away, the M1 series gets away with the flat armor is, number one, it has to be cast that way, just the way it's designed. The old Chobhams or even the new DU stuff. But yeah, flat slab side armor is just like, please shoot me right here. Please don't. I don't want to deflect the round. I want to suck up all the force.
Just hey, it's called a tank. Just tank it, forehead, basically.
And again, this one, they've got the little, looks like the commander, maybe the commander gunner's hatch right behind the gun. And don't tell me that breach doesn't go halfway back into that hull.
Yeah. It's like it looks like they put it on the spot where the turret ring would be, and again, that's like. That thing. I mean, that's like a Sturm Tiger cannon. Like that's what the Demolisher is.
The gunner could be laying down. You know, it's weird as that sounds. The gunner could be, or maybe that's the driver. I don't know.
Oh my god! I just realized. Like, what if the gunner is laying under the gun and the breach has to like fly past him every time he fires?
No, I think that's okay. That's probably the sight system. If you look to where that hatch right above the gun is, just behind that, we used to call it the doghouse.
Yeah,
that might be the sight doghouse, which means the gunner and commander could be like in the M1, right in line with each other, because the gunner was basically at knee height to me. His head would be at the height of my knees. So that could be the commander gunner. The driver is above the gun, maybe laying flat.
Maybe.
So, but it's still every time the gun fires, the driver shits himself.
Yeah, that's the Thunderer, and next is the Thunderer, and next is the Destroyer Tank Hunter. And
for the Raiders, yes, we are being autistic about science fiction tanks.
Yeah, science fiction tanks. But yeah, this is the Destroyer Tank Hunter, and for context, the gun on this thing is a gigantic las cannon. So. I mean, so obviously this one, you know, it's like the Lehman Russ with the las cannons. It's like, you know, no recoil, no physical ammunition, probably just like, you know, a capacitor bank and a wire connecting it to the power source. But
now, wasn't there a few of those in one of the Gaunt's Ghosts when they go to the Saint story arc?
Sabbath Martyrs.
Yeah, there was a couple of those, I think, 'cause they talked about them, especially the dozer blades.
Yeah. There were a couple of these with the tank forces they had on a Hagia.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I kind of like the minimal flex on that gun, which means you would have to be able to kneel and raise the hull.
Yeah.
Which, if you think of something like the S tank, but that doesn't have the suspension system, unless they use the blade to raise it, which is awkward as hell.
Well, I mean, at the same token, though, remember, you don't have to arc the shot; it's a laser beam.
Right, but you still might have to deflect. Like if you're aiming down, you might get 5 degrees of deflection on that gun. Yeah, you're going to rotate the hull to aim left, right.
Actually,
reverse.
Oh, okay. All right. It's set. Okay. According to because this one's got a stat details. It is 5 degrees of traverse.
Okay.
And it has elevation from -3 degrees to +12.
+12. Wow, it doesn't look like it, but that's okay. So because like an M1 series has +20, and I think -10. So yeah, okay. So assuming that is true, that's a pretty effective. Plus, for 40K, that's a very low profile vehicle.
And this is something, reading the stats back there. This opens up a little more info about all the las cannons.
I just saw 20 shots from the power pack.
Yeah, so. It doesn't connect to the power source of the tank like we thought. It has a separate power pack. So
do you change it? Do you recharge it? Do you pray to the God Emperor to get more power?
I can only imagine that they, after draining it, if it's anything like the Imperial Guard, like the las gun power packs, which they have dedicated rechargers, or like you just leave it out in the sun, or in an emergency throw it in a fire to recharge it.
I love that. By the way.
Yeah.
That is so military. Sarge, how do I do? Just throw it in the fucking fire.
Sarge,
just throw it in the fucking fire.
Sir, we can't recharge our las guns fast enough to kill all these Tau infants. Throw it in the fire. It'll charge quicker.
I'm just picturing starting a fucking bonfire under the power pack. That is some tanker shit right there, man.
But yeah, I can only imagine that after it's done, after you've used all 20 shots, you plug it in,
Maybe. You never know. We're talking about the Imperium, so
yeah, true. But I see it's, but I can only imagine it's like, you fire your shots, and then that's like, say, then you pull back to recharge.
Now I hope it's a quick recharge, like out of the back or something. You just open a hatch and they yank the pack out and slap a new pack in.
Potentially,
that would,
or maybe there's they have 2 packs. One is charging. One is locked in.
Yo, man, 2-pack too early, man.
Yeah,
can't be bringing that up.
Yeah. God damn it, see that?
Man, it's too soon, man. Can't be bringing up 2-pack, bro.
But yeah, that's the tank destroyer variant of that previous tank.
Yeah, see that again. That one makes more sense than some of the other ones. So
yeah, it's because these really cramped looking designs make more sense for energy weapons.
Yeah. Projectile weapons are just gonna have all kind of fuckery going on.
Yeah, because then you gotta have room for the ammo and and all that stuff. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, it looks like we do have time to do more tanks.
Oh yeah, okay, cool.
So yeah, let's see. I'm going to where is the media share? We're gonna.
Bo is definitely trying to trigger me. I just know that.
Oh no.
Nah, I'm messing.
Trying. Let's see.
Actually.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna take a little bit here. We're gonna get the next round of tanks. We're gonna get the next round of tanks to look at set up. We're gonna do the heavy. Actually, no. We're gonna do. Okay. We're gonna throw. we're gonna throw the that one up there. This one. This one.
Oh, it's a Godzilla fan. Aren't they misspelling destroyer?
I
Isn't
mean,
it supposed to be destroyer?
no. It's Desutroya.
Oh, you mean I've been mispronouncing it all this year? I love it.
No, it's actually spelled Desutroya, and the reason that was apparently due to like copyright reasons.
Oh, I figured it was going to be English, which would have been even funnier.
No, it was literally like there was some other thing going on at the time where like there was like some character named Destroyer, so they couldn't copyright it for Godzilla, so they decided to name it. They decided to name it the literal pronunciation of a destroyer in katakana, which is Desutroya. Oh boy, there's a lot of these. You're gonna have to give me a moment here. I'm almost done.
Fucking nerd.
Yes.
As I sit here and argue tanks, you nerd.
Because we gotta have the not the Lehman Russ, the Rogaldorn. We gotta have the Rogaldorn on here somewhere. I can't. Oh, there. Oh yeah. Okay.
What about a Chainblade?
What?
Rogaldorn's colossal Chainblade.
Nah, we don't got room for one of those. But yeah. All right. Okay. Now, okay. We're gonna do the one that set this whole thing off. Where's the media share? There it is.
Oh God.
The Chimera.
Oh yes, there it all began.
Yep. This was I'll say immediately, looking at the picture, this one looks a little higher off the ground than the one from the Space Marine, from Space Marine 2. It looks a little higher off the ground.
Wait to see it pop.
Oh, you're waiting for it to pop out.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. All right. So obviously somebody decided that the way to truly hate the world was to take the BMP and the Bradley and make them kiss. Was this nightmare right
So you're
here.
saying is when a BMP and a Bradley love each other very much, you get a Chimera.
Oh, yeah. Well, they should have been stopped. This level of love should not be allowed in any universe.
I will say right away. Okay, once again, it's got the issue of like, you've got this turret and you've got the dude sticking out of the turret, and there's also a gun on the turret.
It looks like a laser weapon.
It is
maybe.
It is a multi-laser. It is a laser weapon.
Okay, so
no
recoil. Maybe he's got his junk up against what would constitute the breach, which I'm not going to kink shame him for that. But what started out was those guns out of the side. Again, completely legitimate and modern weapons, but they can't deflect down past the track. So it's like, why? The rear one is literally the only one that has any hope of having a decent arc of fire.
Do you know what's actually funny about that? About those guns that these guns that you really don't like? You know the funny thing about these?
What's that?
Okay, so because that's how the tank is modeled on the tabletop, right? Every time a game has featured a Chimera, it's had those guns like modeled physically onto the tank, right?
Okay.
Those are not like what those actually are. Those guns are not supposed to like always be there. Those are ports that the guardsmen can stick their. Those are supposed to be guardsmen sticking their las guns out of the tank and firing. That's
which is fair. Yeah. That actually is a use. That is a in-use thing.
Firing ports.
The Bradley used to have a specially modified M16 to that they could mount in those and fire. I guess the big problem, like I said, is if you look at the forward one and the one right behind it, if they try to deflect down, the track gets in the way.
Yeah, like the one the first one on the right it's barely in there, you know?
Right.
Like
right.
If the second one tries to aim down, he's going to get his barrel chewed off by the treads while they're, on the move. And the third guy just looks like it's like how is the one I want to know is because there's supposed to be like the guardsmen are supposed to be peering out of these holes to fire, and it's like where the head
periscopes are right above the weapons.
Yeah, it's like where'd the head go? Where'd the head go?
Yeah. I mean, they would, and like I said, again, useful, but the side would have to be mostly flat. And if you look at the scout model of a Bradley, you can see very obviously that they're there.
Yeah.
And
now another thing to add,
but the side of the Bradley is mostly flat.
Yeah, another thing to add, this part back here behind the firing ports, that is a back hatch that does open up to open in,
like a Brad, like a 113, like a BMP. Yeah.
So guardsmen can guardsmen can shoot over the top, stick themselves out physically to shoot over the top of the tank.
Yeah, the pop up top like an M113, M114, some of the older model vehicles have that pop. I mean, even the Bradley, to reload the tow, you have to pop open a hatch, turn the turret, and then raise the Bradley launcher and angle it up in the air. It's the most convoluted shit show you've ever seen to load two rounds.
You have to open the tank to get more missiles into the tow launcher.
And obviously, if it comes down to rank, who's going to be the one with their head hanging out of that hatch,
holding a high explosive missile, trying to shove it in a hole.
Yeah, it's like Private Snuffy Smith. It sucks to be you. Why? Because I got rank on you. Get your ass up there and load it.
That I will say the front mounted heavy bolter actually between the multi-laser, which a multi-laser is like a Gatling las gun basically.
Okay.
So it shoots really fast and it spins to cycle barrels to bleed off the heat. So between the las cannon, the multi-laser, I could see fitting in there and giving him enough room to pop out like that. And the heavy bolter is off here to the side.
Right. You got a bow gun, almost like a Sherman or something like that. Yeah, the M231 port firing weapon, which was a nightmare because basically they made it an M4 before the M4 was the M4, and they hacked it all up and they took shit off of it so it would fit into the port. And I mean, granted, I was a tanker, not a scout, but in armored cav, you work very closely with your cav troopers and your cav scouts. They hated the damn things. They would accidentally forget them back in the arms room all the time.
So yeah, that's the Chimera, but of course there's variants therein. Here we have the.
But like I said, that please don't tell me that's fuel. Please don't tell me that's fucking fuel.
No, those cans. I got no idea. But here,
God, it looks like fuel cans.
They're probably fuel cans just bolted onto the side of the tank. When the next one though, this is the Salamander command vehicle.
Oh, this is the one that is it? No, not Gaunt.
Kane.
Kane loves riding around in this damn thing.
Oh right, Jurgen.
When Jurgen's driving it like a maniac.
Yeah, Jurgen is usually driving a Chimera of some description, usually.
Whatever he can steal.
Yeah, but yeah, this is the command variant. So, open back, heavy bolter, heavy
Dozer
flamer,
blade.
Yeah, heavy flamer. This one is basically this one is meant to be like backline with the command squad in it, barking orders into a radio. It's designed so they can quickly move up with the armor, basically. If during an advance, that's the purpose of this one.
Open back vehicle though. Oh man,
yeah,
That's a nightmare waiting to happen right there.
That seems fun when, you know, artillery's raining down, or BC weapons,
or it's raining, or it's snowing, or it's sunny and hot. Or
well, I mean, I can imagine, like, you know, the asshole commissar kind of just stoically standing there, you know, not giving a fuck as the sky rains down on him on a bad
full
day.
heavy jacket on, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
standing there
in the desert heat, and he's like, why are you complaining, guardsman? You know. Yeah, that's that one. We're gonna probably go through these pretty quickly. Because they're all just like minor variations.
Oh yeah.
And this next one is the Scout Salamander. This one is very specifically designed to be like a light scout vehicle rather than a troop transport. You know, it's got like a that looks like that looks like an actual like cannon. Some kind of it's either it might be a las cannon, might be some kind of kinetic weapon.
Okay, so yeah, so you basically got like a tank destroyer, like an M10 tank destroyer slapped onto a lightweight hull.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you get, and you know, again, not an impractical vehicle from our past. You know, this is something that if you look, there were several vehicles in World War II from multiple armies that would fit this description.
Yeah, so. Like small, fast, can hit pretty hard, obnoxious because, you know, hard to catch. Toilet paper for armor. Don't get hit.
Yeah. Don't be there.
Yeah. You have no extra. You don't get those extra layers on the defense onion. Just don't get hit.
Yeah. So again, deflection is a little tough. You generally want the gun mounted a little further forward so you can deflect down.
Yeah.
Whatever it says with that hatch there, especially, you know, you're only going to get about 2 to 3 degrees down deflection, but still better than nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Like just enough to be able to, like, say, if you're angled up while trying to be hull down, just enough depression so you can get the gun down straight looking at a tank.
Yeah. You're going to end up like the like at Easting when a guy pulled up, and it was a Bradley, and he pulled up, and they're like, he's yelling, we got a tank, where? Right in front of us. And the gunners looking all around, and literally the tank commanders, or the track commanders, up in his hatch looking right down. They had almost rolled across the tank because it was pulled into a defilade. And they were trying to back up and deflect their gun enough to even hit it with a 25, much less the tow.
So yeah, so this next one, this next one is okay, I'm gonna leave the actual page open because there's a couple of variants of this thing, but this is the Tarox. This is a armored. It's an IFV. It's used by the Tempestus Scions instead of the standard guard. But this is a armored IFV. It's got like, you know, you can put these sort of slightly offset turrets on top, and it's got it's got double auto cannons. It's got like a small kind of battle cannon.
Oh God, I've never seen this, and I think I've just blotted it from my mind.
Yeah, this one on the bottom has twin Gatling guns, and then the one in the back has a 6-round missile launcher.
That is,
It's like I get the distinct feeling. It's like they didn't know what kind of IFV they wanted it to be, so they made it look like a truck. But then instead of truck tires, they gave it 4 tracks. Which,
from a maintenance and service point of view, would be a nightmare.
Yeah,
it's high-sided, slab-sided. Again, shitty deflection on the gun system.
I can only imagine the battle cannon must have some kind of internal auto-loading mechanism. There is no way you could fit like the ability to reload that thing.
And it's like some sort of bastardized half track. It's like, well, if we take a half track and we combine it with a half track, what do we get? A full track. No, don't. Stop.
A thing I remember somebody talking about once is how a multi-track system tank like this, like say rather than just 2 tracks, you have 4, would be a nightmare to operate and maintain because
turning. I mean, you can't turn it like a vehicle. You would have to have independent braking systems for the track to make it turn.
Yeah.
Because the way a tank turns is, of course, it locks up one track or slows one track and speeds the other track up or whatever.
One track pushes. It's not like a car where you angle the tire or angle the tires to go another direction. It slows or locks one, and then the other pushes harder. Or if you really got to turn fast, one goes backward, one goes forward, and it spins the whole tank.
Yeah, that would just be... It's so high-sided, too.
Not to mention, and this is from what I've been told, a design like this would require 2 engines, 1 per set of tracks.
Yeah, unless you have an insanely complex cross-link system, you're going to... what's the meme? You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah,
and it's front engine, so like you said, unless, and then they would have to go down and run a transmission system through the whole underside of the vehicle, which would be extremely susceptible to damage.
Yep.
That's a nightmare right there. I'm going to dream about that, Bo, and I'm going to blame your ass for it.
Okay. No. It gets better. There's a detail you haven't noticed. Okay, so
is the back open or?
No. This is a closed vehicle. But here's the thing, though. I want you to look on the right side of the tank on the close-up. What do you see above the rear track there?
I see an exhaust system. I see that big ass door.
Okay, a little further right.
Okay.
Do you see this thing right here, just above the track assembly? That's an auto.
Front track or
rear track? Rear track. That's an auto cannon.
A fixed forward firing with the magazine on the outside of the weapon, outside of the vehicle.
Yeah, there's one on each side.
Oh, I like the sledgehammer. That's to brain yourself for getting stuck on that vehicle. and they have an autocannon right up against an exhaust system.
I can only imagine that's great for cooking off ammo.
It's just... But, okay, if you fire that cannon, number one, you're going to clip the door. You're going to take off the front lights. Look at it.
Yeah,
it's going to take off half of the front end of the vehicle.
You're gonna at the very least you're gonna plink the front grille. You know, and and something else I want to point out. This is another thing I just noticed. Look at look at you see the pintle mounted storm bolter.
Yeah,
the missile launch, the rightmost missile does not have enough clearance to get over that.
No, it does. And literally, if your head's it's literally like that joke about, brother, I can't hear shit.
Oh yeah, that one. That poor space marine in the back of the new storm speeders.
There's literally, or if you open the hatch just as they fire those flank mounted guns.
Yeah, it's like that thing I can only imagine this thing is a nightmare.
This is like somebody let their kid all hopped up on Mountain Dew design this shit.
The Pegasus aren't. Wait, the Pegasus has no picture. Could have sworn it did. One moment, I'm gonna look for this real quick. If I can't find it, then we'll just go to the next one. I could have sworn there was a picture. Oh, there is no. Oh, here. Oh, wow, the picture's here. Okay. This thing is called a Pegasus. Now, the funny thing is too, this is literally, from what I understand, this is just a World War. There's an actual German World War II vehicle that was basically just this. It's like a
no picture. That sucks.
Oh, give it a sec. You're a little bit behind. I did find the picture. But for when it pops up on your screen, it is basically just a little wheeled kind of armored.
Oh
Jeep.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? There was God. They still use stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like it's just got it's like the center part of a Chimera, but with wheels. It doesn't transport troops. It's got the Chimera turret with the multi-laser, and then it's got the heavy
had
bolter.
something like that. I want to say the Brits had something called the Fox. Still might use it. It's a great scout. It's a great quick strike vehicle. It can't take much of a hit, but it wasn't designed for it. Yeah, look at what's that piece of shit the Army has? The one when they fired the gun over the side, it knocked the vehicle over. It was
I can't remember, but you're making me think of the Hollander from BattleTech, the one with the little pissant light mech with the fucking Gauss rifle.
Oh yeah. That literally. This was something the Army came up. It was a 6-wheeled vehicle, and they mounted all these weapon systems. And then they said, "Whoa, we don't need tanks. We'll just put a 105 millimeter gun on this thing." They spun the gun over the side, fired, and flipped the vehicle.
You're also kind of making me think of the Striker.
Yes. They put a 105 on a Striker.
What the fuck do you think was going to happen?
Dude, you got to understand the disconnect between... Remember the story I told about the private with the steel ball in the canteen?
Oh, right. Yeah, that. Yeah.
That. It sounds great. It looks great. It looks great on paper. And when they build it and it sits in a lab, it's like, yeah, this is awesome. Then they give it to a bunch of fuckwits like me. We proceed to break it.
It's a great idea. It's one of those. It's a great idea until you feel it, kind of things.
I know my stories are probably boring, but
oh, they're not boring, dude.
We were discussing. We were actually testing a new sight system for the M1 series. It was going to be a 25 power variable 1 to 25 digital sight system.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great. I'm like, yeah, this is great. And finally they said, well, there's one more evaluator. And this big old fat master sergeant, he could barely fit in the vehicle. He grunts and groans and gets his way in there and stuffs himself behind the sight system. And he's looking through it. And the company that made the sight, the engineer was like, oh, it does this and it does this. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a little ball peen hammer and went whack. And the whole sight system went out.
Okay, you should.
That was it. Yeah. The whole system got canceled because that one guy hit it with a damn. That looks like two ugly vehicles mated and made it uglier.
Oh, you mean? I mean this weird. It's like, Mom, there's this weird looking Chimera on screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the Hellhound. This is the Imperium's light war crimes tank. Okay, so there's a couple variants of this thing, but the main deal is the base version is armed with a heavy flamer. There is also, I want to say, a multi-melta version, and the one we're looking at right now, it is just a nozzle that sprays nerve gas.
Okay, so we've got exposed piping.
Uh-huh.
We're not even going to get into the absolute shit show that is. We have holes that are shot traps in the side. It is a shot trap. There's not even one spot I can look at.
There's nowhere this thing can take a hit, basically.
No. This thing is, again, it's like, okay, if we ram two of the ugliest vehicles we could find together, we're going to create something that is going to break the brain of any. It just.
I'm also
okay. You know what it makes me think of? Do you remember in the first Indiana Jones movie? Remember that fucked up tank?
Yeah.
That they were fighting on? That's what somebody saw the first Indiana Jones movie and said, wait a minute, bro. Hold my beer, bro. I got this.
Yeah, so okay, so again, like I said, heavy flamer, multi-melta on the turret, and this is the really crazy one that we're looking at again. That is a thing designed to spray chemical weapons. Like nerve gases and shit.
Yeah, so as Exor, this is a war crime vehicle.
Okay. Yeah. This thing is built to burn, melt, or dissolve you.
And I'm not sure, but those are kill markings on that front. The big skull and the two little skulls.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess 5 plus 2. So 7, whether it's battles, platoons, heretics, whatever it is, they've killed 7 of them.
The thing that really gets me about this one, but like the flamer one a little bit, but especially this variant with the chemical weapon thing, is that, like, okay, now obviously they built flamethrower tanks in reality, and of course, if it takes an ammo hit, it's going up like a fucking 4th of July, because it's just a bunch of fuel that just took a round. So yeah. But now think of this: you're on the battlefield, you're pushing up with your Hellhound, and it takes a hit in its giant reservoir of, like, fucking, I don't know, mustard gas, VX, whatever the fuck they're using, right? And that shit's now billowing everywhere. Like, that is a terrible idea for a weapon. There's generally a reason that, BC weapons are delivered with, like, shells or
from a distance,
or missiles. You want to get as much distance between it and the firer as possible. You don't want that shit being sprayed from a fire hose.
Yeah, and Captain Pip, I think it was just an old Mark 8 that they slapped this Vismod turret on, and that's again, somebody saw that and said, yeah, and let's put some exposed piping, because what could go wrong with a puncture?
Listen, I love it when my piping connected to my giant reservoir of VX nerve gas takes a random bullet in the middle of the battle and I don't know it. Nothing bad ever happened then.
Some batshit, heretic jumps up there and smashes it with an axe or something.
Yeah,
what could go wrong?
Yeah, it's like what Nick Cage in The Rock said: glass or plastic. Because you're going to be buried in a glass jar or a plastic bag when that shit gets into the cockpit. But yeah, that's that one. Okay, now this is a fun one. This is the Crassus armored transport. I'll give the stream a sec to catch up for you.
Yeah, chemical weapons. Yeah, they just turned the valve on and prayed like hell the wind didn't change.
Yep.
So,
I mean, there are stories in World War I of, they hit the other trench with nerve gas, and then the wind changes, and suddenly they're downwind of their own weapon. Because there's like,
which is where you get cool songs like, the Dead. Was it March of the Dead Men?
Yep. All right, this thing should have popped up on screen now for you to see that. The Crassus Armored Transport.
Just did. MTLB. That is an MTLB.
Yeah,
that's either an MTLB or that's a what is it? A Mark V. The ones that the Marines use.
I don't.
They're amphibious transports.
Oh right, yeah, okay. I can I don't remember the name, but I can visualize it in my head. I know what you're talking about. But yeah, it's like this thing is very obviously meant to take hits and deliver troops. Like, it doesn't have many just 4. It's got 4 heavy bolters, and that's really it. For like, I'm also going to point out, this is one of the most sensible so far. The most sensible place to put a top hatch relative to the guns.
Yeah, exactly. The AAV 5, I think it was called.
Yeah, like you've got the hatch, and then you've got like it's very obvious a dude is supposed to sit in there, right? Because he got the visor port right in front of the hatch. And I guess you have the 4 gunners, and then you've got all the dudes in the back with this heavy turtle shell of armor. So yeah, this is probably one of the most practical vehicles we've seen so far, funnily enough.
Oh, where'd it go? There we go. Yeah, that's basically an AAV 5 that they said, no, I want you to dirty that shit up, man. Okay, yeah, Boomer Kiro, there you go. We got a crayon eater in the chat here, so.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, at least the AAV had track all the way around. This kind of weird shit right there. I wouldn't want to be the poor bastard submerged completely on that, especially the seals around that bolter leak. But yeah, if I remember right, Boomer, they had the AAV 5 and then they upgraded to 7. And when I say upgraded, I mean 40 years ago to the 7. And now I think they're working on something new. But yeah. So somebody saw that and said, yeah, just sci-fi the shit out of that.
Sci-fi and make it look a little more World War II, basically.
Yeah, it's like a landing craft that an AAV made a completely demented child and said, yeah, that shit works. So, but yeah, for 40K, this is probably one of the more practical, kind of like the tank destroyer. Yeah. This is actually a somewhat practical vehicle. Yeah, the big ass exhaust hanging out.
Yeah, the next one coming up though is even funnier. It's called the Gorgon, and what this one basically is, this is basically one of them D-Day landing boats, but they put tracks on it. You just give it a sec to pop up, you'll see it.
Yep.
Yeah. This is just a D-Day landing boat with tracks. That's what the Gorgon is when you see it. It's.
Oh yeah.
It's also open top. This is I want to say this is a Death Korps of Krieg exclusive vehicle. Like they specifically got it.
I remember Badger building one of these. Yeah, he and I were arguing over how to put that pusher plate in the front.
Yeah, immediate problem I'm noticing is the pusher plate, because you've got the forward the forward exit that drops down, right? But you think there's a chance the pusher plate might depress against the track in the front?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what he and I were arguing over, because he's like, the way they had it positioned, it interfered with the track. And whenever it comes to armored vehicles, he immediately, hits me up and he's like, bro, you got to come look at this shit, man. Does this make any sense to you?
Well, he was also fighting with Forge World resin. That ain't the best shit out there.
Yeah, there is that, but yeah, I mean, without the plate, yeah, that's just an old landing craft.
Yeah.
So
and you got the two guys up in the back with with dual heavy stubbers. You got the heavy. I guess those are heavy bolters in the front. No,
again, till it comes out of the water, it ain't gonna get. It's
no,
a lot of luck.
Those aren't bolters. Those are like las guns of some kind.
Yeah, let's have the thing that fires energy get submersed in water.
Let's get
what can go wrong?
Yeah, let's get the electrically powered gun wet. What's the worst that could happen? It's like those.
Yeah, that's a Krieg thing all the way, man.
Let's see. This is now this one. The next one. These were tanks introduced. We're going while we're waiting for the image to load on for you to see. This is we're going back to like Forge World, Imperial Armor. This is the Malkador series of tanks we're going to start now. These were developed by Forge World for the Imperial Armor series when they introduced the Siege of Vrax and the Krieg model line. So yeah, this is just the base Malkador, like the base Malkador heavy tank.
Okay, I mean it's not the worst. I mean, compared to some of these other, it's not the worst design. I mean, depending on what guns fire.
Yeah, immediate things I'm noticing is room for the gunner to not be in the turret. They've got the cupola on the side, so the commander isn't in danger of losing his legs every time those things fire.
Now, are those projectile guns?
Yes.
I assume by the look of them.
Yeah, they're. Okay. I want to say it's dual battle cannons.
Yeah, they've got an external, recoil, system. I'm going to assume that's the driver to the front right.
Probably.
With a bow gunner, very, very World War II. That's a very World War II look there. That one actually makes more sense than most of them.
It's kind of a thing I've noticed. Just a little thing I've noticed throughout all 26 years of Warhammer, Warhammer fandom. I've noticed the Imperial Armor guys were generally a little better at designing tanks than the Citadel guys who worked on the plastic stuff for the main model line.
Yeah. I mean, that one. I mean, I'm not saying it's the greatest design in the world, but at least it could probably, depending on how you feed those guns, and granted, it's going to be that tank commander is. It doesn't matter what you call him because he's not going to hear shit after about the first week of those guns.
Listen, man. He
been there, done that. You know.
I'd say he could get some cybernetic ears, but he probably couldn't because it wouldn't be a service-related injury.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he could close his hatches, and kind of plant against that curved turret, cupola wall, and get out of the way of those bitches. I'm trying to figure where the gunner might be in the hull and fires through sights.
I can only imagine the gunner is probably down in the hull for a change.
Yeah. He's out in the hull looking through a periscope or some kind of linked sight system. The U.S. Army played around with that. It's called the casemate turret, where everything's up in the turret, but the crew's down in the hull. But it just leaves so many things to break.
Yeah, I also read that the crews themselves kind of preferred having the commander up in the turret.
Well, yeah, you want to be. I mean, boy, having spent enough time in that goddamn hatch, you got to be up there, man. Sometimes you got to skylark out of that hatch. Granted, you are a sniper target like nobody's business. In fact, that's literally the first time I got hurt was a Panamanian sniper took a shot and hit the hatch of my Sheridan, and I got spalling and basically metal fragments in my face and arm. And we returned our love. 7.62 and 50 caliber.
I mean, it's not like you could use the main gun. They didn't give you any ammo.
If I probably would have hit him with a missile. Put a missile in his ass.
You probably would have shillelagh'd his ass if you had one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because our loaders we had put pencil mounts for our loaders. We basically hit back with 8 7.62s and 4.50 calibers in an area probably 10 by 10.
Yeah.
we just tore a hole in the jungle, and one of the grunts walked over them and was like, well, if he was here.
Yeah.
He ain't here no more.
Yeah, no. You did the predator spray and pray, but unfortunately for him, he was not the predator.
No, he was not.
Yeah, and of course, before we move on, the obligatory Bren gun up top because
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a heavier barrel. It's like a 50 cal Bren. Looking at the magazine, Homeboy's got a 50 cal Bren, which, okay, I'm down with that. That's cool.
All right, next one.
You had my respect.
Yeah. All right, next one should be popping up any second now for you. This is the Vanquisher pattern. This one has two of those. This is the one that is two of the, like we were saying, they're just M1 Abrams guns. But it's got two of them. It's also
yeah, I think
it's also got a really nice color scheme.
Those short guns are pretty wild. That's. Well, yeah, I mean, as long as you don't mind a long, well, I don't know if those are energy or, I assume those are projectile.
Yeah, okay, yeah, these are the Vanquisher cannons. These are the ones they're just the Abrams cannons.
Okay, yeah, so you got a long stroke recoil. The gunner's hatch, it looks like the gunner could actually sit far enough back next to the commander, or maybe that's the loader, that actually for once they've given room for the recoil.
Yeah, it's like actually, yeah. This image is giving it kind of a better view of the turret overall.
They've got the sight system on the side, like the M60 did, the M60, the M48, and the M47. You got that kind of blister on the side. Shitty camo. That's par for the course. It gets tore to shit. So
I mean,
great realism right there.
Listen. As a son of Dorne, my dad's Marines go into battle in bright fucking yellow. I can't criticize anyone. I can't criticize anyone on their camo.
Still got that high side track. I will never get over that. But at least the bolter's set far enough back that you can at least get 3/4 coverage on your flank.
That plus
that actually makes some sense.
That plus where the bolter operator must be also gives room for the forward the forward like gunner on the because they got twin. You probably noticed they got a little casemate. I guess you call it a casemate twin heavy stubber on these. On the front,
yeah.
It leaves room for him to operate too.
Yeah, little bow gun there, but yeah, Boomer's got it. You guys are stupid. See, they're going to be looking for Army guys in camo, not bright yellow Space Marines.
Exactly. No, it's the Imperial fists. They're just literally too autistic. They're too autistic. It's like, you can't see me, idiot. And then just because of that, it's like Marneus Calgar shrugging off the time stop in the Space Marine 2 campaign. It's like, magic isn't real, idiot, and then he just does it anyway. No,
this one actually, they put a little thought into it. Again, not terribly practical, unless there's still not a lot of room for ammo or engine, but you could probably make it work without knowing the exact size of the vehicle. It could be absolutely massive in comparison. So
these are classified as heavy tanks compared to, like, say, the Lehman Russ. So these are much bigger. But yeah, that's the.
I wish I could shake them free of that weird slab side look, but
you're gonna like this one. Hey, remember the Lehman Russ Punisher with the Gatling cannon?
Oh God!
I'm not gonna say.
Let me guess. Twin Gatling cannons.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna let it pop up on stream for you.
It's gonna be twin Gatling cannons because that's autism turned up to 11 right there. I'm waiting. How right am I going to be? Okay, come on.
Waiting with anticipation here for his reaction.
Tread.
Oh, you just saw it?
Oh, for fuck's sake. This is just retarded.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know that word isn't supposed to be legal anymore. Oh my God.
Oh. See that? It gets so much. It's worse than you think. All right. Do you want to know what?
Okay, again, literally the commander, the only word they ever hear out of him is, what?
What? Not to mention he's fucking be straddled by those guns. You get mad. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about these guns. These are not just like Vulcan cannons. Like they're not like. Do you know what they are called?
They're like 40 millimeters.
They
look like 40 millimeter barrels.
They're called Vulcan Mega Bolters.
Oh.
These are something like. Okay, you know a heavy bolter is like? A heavy bolter, like an Astartes grade heavy bolter, is like a 1-inch bullet, like 1-inch diameter.
Right.
This is like somewhere between 3 to 5.
So a 5-inch gun.
It is a quint barreled 5-inch diameter. Bolter Gatling cannon. So it's firing bolter rounds.
Okay, are you familiar with the Mark 19?
Mark 19. You know what? Go into it anyway. I want to hear you.
The automatic belt-fed grenade launcher.
I've seen that. I love that thing.
One of the running jokes is the design came from, they went to a group of 5th grade boys and said, what be the coolest weapon ever? Fully automatic grenade launcher machine gun. Build that. That is literally, this is that taken to the most ridiculous ever level.
Yeah, because
firing the Mark 19, I wanted one actually. I offered to test one where they could take my 50 and give me a Mark 19. They never would though. I got to fire it, but man, I wanted to fire that thing so bad. That is just like, that is the Mark 19 again turned up to 11.
Yeah, Ixo
it's just crazy.
Ixo, to clarify, you are correct. The Warhound Titan can have one of these things, a double one like this, as a weapon for its arm, for like one of its arm weapons.
But that's a Titan, though.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you expect that.
The what I think is just crazy though is not only is it a Gatling weapon, it has the barrel diameter, like the bore of a fucking of like a modern destroyer's, gun turret. Like those are
like I said,
those are
it looks like they could be 40, 50 millimeter barrels.
Yeah, this flies back like this is even like all the problems with the Lehman Russ Punisher magnified, because one, you need enough ammo to feed a Gatling gun. Two, the Gatling gun fires somewhere between 3 to 5 inch shells. Two, it's a Gatling gun firing 3 to 5 inch shells. That thing's gonna be like a fucking SR-71 engine with the fucking thrust it can put out. Yeah, just from the recoil.
Well, keep in mind, for example, I think a 5-inch gun is 105 millimeter.
Yeah.
So those are probably more like 40 to 50 millimeters. So they're probably 1.5 inches.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe up to 2 inches.
I will say I am trying to use the diameter on the model as a frame of reference, but again, remember,
right.
Games Workshop, love you guys. You're British. You don't know how guns work, especially when it comes to like a barrel diameter.
Yeah, like I said, the sound, the recoil, the ammo feed, the inside of this thing would have an absolute nightmare system. The tank commander, he can't go any lower than right inside his hatch.
Yeah, and remember,
no room for him.
Remember, there's 2 of these things. You need ammo for 2.
So that means the gunner sits in front of him, which, well, I hope the gunner doesn't turn around too quickly, or they're going to be a date. They're going to be a couple.
Actually, no. The thing I was wondering is the sheer vibration from firing that gun would probably liquefy your brain if you were that close.
Oh yeah. Again, TBI is going to be a thing with that. So
yeah.
I want to be the guy on the twin heavy stubber up front. He's probably got the quietest job in the whole place.
Right. Right. All right. Okay.
That's wow.
Next one is a little less dumb because we're sinking deep into sci-fi territory with this one. This one, I'll describe it for you while you're waiting for it to load. This is the Macarius. This is the Macarius. This is the Macarius Omega. I want to say this is the Macarius Omega. It has a Titan grade plasma cannon.
Oh god,
plasma.
So when it explodes, it really fucking explodes.
It's well, actually, fun fact: the Imperium's vehicle-mounted plasma guns are actually better at managing heat than their infantry-carrying ones.
That looks like almost like an elephant. The German elephant.
Oh, like a tank.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think of, if you look up German elephant, it was I don't know that it ever went to combat, but that's what it makes me think of.
Is that a double yes, the Titan scale plasma cannons are double barreled. I will say, because we were talking about the heat a little bit ago, the vehicle mounted plasma guns in the Imperium are actually, they do damage the internals of the tank when they overheat, but they are actually better at venting the heat than the infantry guns. So they don't explode. But
yeah,
all the same.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but all the same, you're trying to not only power, but you remember you have to feed a plasma gun with the gas that it uses to compress into plasma inside the gun. So this thing does take ammo.
Captain Pip's, the elephant. I wasn't totally crazy. It was a heavy or super heavy tank destroyer. That it looks like they took that hull. Why does that look like it's open in the back? Does that not look like it's open?
It's not
Or am I
open.
crazy?
It's not open. It's just it goes above the it's sort of there's a rim above the backside a little bit. It's not open,
Okay.
but but everything in that top part is like the part of the gun mechanism.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
What was and okay, since I try to find something positive, there's a lot of little touches on the model. I have to give full credit to the model maker. The chains on the front, those are toe chains. Yes, we use cables, but yeah, same concept. You always had them already mounted. You did not want to try to find those things. Spare track on the back, little crap like that. Ventilation or maybe air transfer system, maybe for chemical overpressure. So, there's a lot of little things that, I can't imagine, like I said, when that thing fires, there's no hiding it. There's no stealth mode on that.
I mean, yeah, you are literally punting a sun out of your gun. You are not fun fact, I've read a story of guardsmen who were in a trench, right, and they were fighting the enemy, and then a warlord titan with a plasma cannon for an arm walked it was walking near them, like behind the trench, and so the plasma gun was over them, right, when it was standing still to fire. When that thing fired, a bunch of the person telling the story realized what was about to happen and got down into shade. For everyone else, it was like an atomic bomb went off above them. They were just cooked by the heat and the light of the blast. Even the girl telling the story who got behind the shade suffered 2nd-degree burns on her exposed skin from the plasma gun going off.
Well, I can believe it.
Yeah, because that is literally a little because these things fire little suns, basically, compressed balls of plasma. That shit is hot, and yeah, no hiding from that. That is the mother of all tracer rounds.
Kind of like the guy that was charging my platoon mate's tank, and he freaked out and fired the main gun instead of the coax.
All right, yeah, and liquefied that dude he was shooting at.
We still don't know what exactly got the poor bastard, whether it was the round, the blast, or I don't know. He was just vaporized.
I like to think he's it's like the Looney Tunes thing of just the two smoking shoes,
Yeah, literally, because whatever it was, I don't think he really realized it.
Yeah, exactly, Nikos. That feel when you're a heretic in the trenches of Rax, and all of a sudden the sun comes up at 10 p.m.
In the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. See, that's the Malkador Omega. The next one is okay. We kind of went a little ahead of ourselves. This is the next one we're looking at. Is another variant of the Malkador. This is the Malkador heavy tank. This is the base one. And this was another. I want to say this was another. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, this was another. I want to say it was another Imperial armor book series tank. I want to say this one was also with the Siege of Rax and the Death Crow of Krieg. Is this in plastic now? I don't think a lot of these are in print anymore, because GW is slowly phasing out Forge World, which, on the one hand, kind of unfortunate, but I also don't think Forge World should have ever been producing whole factions, especially considering the cost of the resin. I would like these to come back in plastic, though. That would be really cool.
Okay, I get a Ford 5-ton vibe off of this. It was actually a Ford tank from World War One. It looks like they just upscaled it.
Yeah,
we're not going to talk about that turret trap. The shot trap in the turret.
Well, the thing, okay, the immediate things I'm trying to put together with the design on this thing is okay. So that is I want to say that's a standard battle cannon. So nothing too fancy, right? But here's
Right.
aside from the enormous shot trap, that's a fixed that is a casemate. So
Yeah.
I
yeah.
don't. I can only imagine all that extra room is to turn the gun a little bit.
Yeah, maybe get a little bit of a flex in there. I would assume the round ejects out the back.
Yeah.
So, it's gonna eject out of the rear of the turret. Um, whoever in the Soviet Union thought mounting gas tanks on the back was a good idea. I hope they burn in hell as a tanker.
Yeah, this is
Um,
this is honestly, this is a very Soviet design, if you want my opinion.
it really, if you look up the Ford 5-ton, and it looks like they scaled up the 5-ton, stuck those funky tracks on the side of it, and said, "Yeah, this looks cool."
The
Because those very rhomboid tracks they seem to love.
the thing I actually noticed that makes this feel like a very Soviet design to me. Look at the top hatch on the turret. That is not a cupola. That is just a pair of metal doors.
It's literally a couple of aluminum doors. Probably has a padlock on it.
Right? Oh my god. Yeah, that thing is
Yeah,
Soviet as hell.
That is like, the Germans are outside Moscow. Comrade, we need tanks. You ain't gonna like it. I didn't say I liked it. I said I need a tank. Okay, here you go, bro.
Yeah, they're going full quantities of quality on its own design here. It's big. It's got a big gun. They can put them together fast. Yeah, that's really all they have going for them. But yeah, we're more Malkador tanks now. Here is the. Oh, you're gonna like this one. See that? This is the Malkador Annihilator.
Every time you say I'm going to like that, I start crying.
Describing it before it pops up. This is, I want to say, the Malkadors, hilariously enough, because these were Siege of Rax tanks. These were these were used by the Renegades and Heretics faction when it still existed. Like these were the tanks they could take, and this one, yeah, okay. To give you an idea of what you're about to see that it's got. They replaced the turret. They replaced the casemate turret with cannon with 2 las cannons, but now they've shoved a demolisher cannon on the front.
Ew.
I'm guessing you just saw it.
That is just, God, I'd rather eat the barrel of my last pistol. That is nasty looking. There's just. I now know what's that British chef that likes swearing at people?
Gordon Ramsay.
I know how Gordon Ramsay feels when he sees a really screwed up meal.
Also, this screen cap revealed a little more about the turret design. I'm looking at, like, okay, you see where you've got the las cannons, and then you've got like the part that aims up and down, right? And then and then it goes further back into the turret. That does not look like, that looks welded in there. That does not look like it can actually turn.
It's got a little, yeah. It's got a little. Well, you could turn with the neutral steer controls.
Yeah.
I'll allow the Swedish S tank.
Is that is that the one where like it's just the whole gun is like built into the tank and it can't turn? You have to turn the whole fucking tank to shoot the thing.
It's a fixed extreme long barrel 105 millimeter. Maybe they've upgraded it to something bigger. Hyper accurate, amazing defense tank. Absolute shit any other way. It's even got the skid plate. If you see that little thing sticking up on the back, that's to keep the tank from flipping over when you're going up a hill.
Yeah.
That's literally World War I right there.
Yeah, I can only imagine they probably also drop it to fire the Demolisher too. That's a
have to.
That's a big boy. That's like I said, it's basically a Sturm Tiger cannon.
Yeah, it's just so weird. It's even got a mantle on it, which means you can deflect the gun up and down a little bit. And I swear to God, it looks like it's got a sight window right above the barrel through the mantle. I just know
who the fuck is going to use that.
How many gunners do we have? 2. How many more rounds can we fire? 2. It would allow manual sighting. It would allow them to literally look and just look down the barrel and point. you're not going to hit anything over about 500 meters if you're lucky with that thing. I would say no more than 100 meters.
All right.
It's just firing a big blob.
Moving on from that disaster, we've got the Malkador Defender. This one, let's see what we got here. This one. Okay, so while you're waiting for it to load, see that this one it's got the forward-mounted demolisher cannon still. This one forgoes the turret, the turret main gun. Like, it basically closes off the turret and replaces it with four heavy bolter sponsons on top. So like full 180 degree heavy bolter, a little more than 180 degree heavy bolter coverage.
Okay, all right. There, yeah, you're gonna blow the end of your own barrel off there with that front-mounted gun.
Yeah, I was about to say I think the front-mounted demolisher would actually get clipped by the forward leftmost heavy bolter. Like when it's firing, the rounds would clip the barrel rim.
I love the tank commander literally popping out of the aluminum doors. What the fuck are you doing?
All right, so
he's screaming some shit. Man.
Yeah, it's like Gunner, you see that guy? Fuck that guy.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So you actually have pretty good coverage. I would put one gun in the back, but that's because I've always been paranoid about shit coming up from behind. Yeah. In my tanks, because this is like the worst coverage area. Yeah, that's got a blind spot that's just
a mile wide. Blind spot. Like, I will actually say, this one to me feels like okay, the fucking the fucking Sturm Tiger cannon up front, the demolisher, is like ridiculous, but I feel
somebody
like
at GW's really in love with that gun.
I feel like this one could be a more viable design around World War I.
Yeah. Again, you're basically, if you've ever seen the difference between the male and the female World War I era tanks, the males had cannons, the females had machine guns. Somebody said, "Shit, we're just going to do both. We're going to cram it all into one vehicle.
When
lose our shit."
When a male tank and a female tank love each other very much, you get the Malkador.
I just realized that's a chaos vehicle.
Yeah, no. This is like
I
said, these were mostly used by the Vraxian rebels, which were who the Renegades and Heretics faction back when it was still around represented.
I always love the external mufflers. It's like,
that said,
guys, really?
that said, Imperium could take these as well. But these were the ones that were specifically meant for the Chaos, basically Traitor Guard. That's what Renegades and Heretics was. It was Traitor Guard.
This is literally wait for it to go by, pop up, shoot it in the ass, and kill the engine.
Pop out or pop out of the trench, fire your little fucking your tread feather into the back of the tank, blow the engine, get back down.
Yeah, and then while it's sitting there, it's going to fire, but all you got to do is, again, stay behind it.
Yep.
You ain't doing but the only person that can fire is a homeboy up top there, so.
Yep. And this next one, you're going to, hey, see that, once again, you're going to love this one. This is the Malkador Infernus.
Why do they hate Malkador so much? They keep giving it these...
It's like he's only like literally Malkador the hero, and they give him the worst design tanks.
It's like they just hate him. That's all there is to it.
But yeah, this is the Malkador Infernus. This has a Titan grade super heavy flamer, and it's pulling a tank full of fuel behind it.
Oh my god. I was going to say, okay, so somewhere inside that vehicle is a giant fuel bladder. No, let's be more autistic. Let's tow it, because there's nothing could go wrong with that.
I mean, on the one hand,
oh my god.
on the one hand, if that rear tank takes a rear fuel tank takes a hit, it's at least not connected to the tank, like you may be able to shut the valve quick enough to save the tank. But
maybe, but the shockwave is just going to be amazing.
There were real tanks like this. I mean, yeah, there were like we were saying, there were flamethrower tanks, but they generally weren't, from what I understand, weren't dragging the fuel tank behind them.
No. They had a fuel bladder inside. Up until Vietnam, they had flamethrower tanks, but nobody wanted to be on them.
I immediately noticed, like, once again, we've got the fucking aluminum fence doors on top of the tank. The driver, like, obviously sits in here. Now we've got, and here's the thing I just noticed. Now we've got what's it called? Not pintle.
Still waiting for the picture to switch. So.
Oh, really? Still?
Let me refresh the page. It might be on my end of it. So.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, we've got right, we've got right, sponson. We've got sponson mounted. We've got the sponson mounted autocannon. You see that on the side, right?
Uh-huh. I'm just looking at that gun going, there's like, so basically all this is a long tube.
It is a tube. Yeah, it's
a tube to transport fuel.
They cut a big chunk out of the tank and put a Titan grade super heavy flamethrower.
Oh, this is just.
But
who would I command to run this? I don't know if I ever hated anybody that much.
Okay, but remember, now here's the thing I was talking about. Now that you can see it, now you see you've got your once again your little, like, metal fence door on the top, like they've all had.
Yeah.
Which obviously leads to the driver's seat. That's what this is here, like right next to the flamethrower. You've got the pintle mounted autocannon here on the left side. Now, obviously, you go in through the top of the tank and get in the pintle mount, right? How does the guy on the other pintle mount get into his pintle? There's a giant flamethrower in his path.
Well, that's why I just wonder if it's a servitor. Maybe they just got some poor bastard strapped in there.
No. These are the pintle mounted guns are operated by people. There are people aiming these guns.
And I'm still seeing exposed piping all over the place. And I'm like, oh my god. Well,
look at that. It's not even metal piping. That's rubber.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like flex tubing.
I'm hoping that's for the air compressor, not the fuel. Like to pump the gas down the barrel.
Yeah, you're right. They would have a separate tank, but I would assume they would try to drain that as fast as they could.
Yeah, because it's like I said, it's like actually wait, no, there's no in order to maintenance the gun, you'd have to get out of the tank. There's no way to actually close off the fuel valve
unless there's something internal, maybe like some kind of automatic shut off. But
like Hans pushes a button basically if it takes a hit.
But if that tank detonates, the shockwave is going to rattle your internal organs.
Yeah, so it wouldn't matter anyway. You'd still be dead.
Yeah, I mean, when it's so funny because when you're inside, the main gun fires, especially if the hatches are closed on a modern tank, there's a significant overpressure.
Yeah,
inside the vehicle because it's actually very quiet inside when the main gun fires. It's just kind of a boom.
Yeah.
But there's also a hell of a pressure wave.
Yeah, because like overpressure is something that is actually, factored in when trying to fight a tank.
And then, then the breech pops open and it's like, oh. That's why everybody's like, oh, they have air conditioning. No, they have ventilation. Yes, you have to do that or you kill the crew.
I didn't need my lungs anyway, basically. All right, so... Next one.
I'm very shocked to still be alive, I'll be honest with you.
Hold on. Oh shit. All right. This is this only ever existed in epic scale 40K 28 millimeters, so we don't have much of a very good view of the model. This is the Ragnarok. You will recognize this thing immediately once it pops up on screen. You will recognize it immediately. Well, I will clue you in a little bit while you wait though. Russian death fridge.
I was just gonna say, why do I hear the Soviet national anthem playing?
As bass boosted Soviet anthem intensifies.
There was no thought put into this. Somebody just said, "Bro, I got an idea. We're on a deadline. Don't worry about it. It's already taken care of."
Yeah. It was literally just yeet the fucking KV2 into 40K as is.
Now, what's kind of funny is it looks like on the side there, I don't know if that's supposed to be track or the crew's equipment, which is kind of an interesting touch on the side there.
That I
like
think
the rucksacks are
that might, knowing both Soviet and Imperium design, that might actually be their equipment.
I mean, we slung ours over the back. That little rack that hangs out the back of the turret, the bustle rack.
We
slung our gear. So
now, for some context for the actual model we're looking at, Epic 40K, later known as Epic Armageddon, currently known as Legions Imperialis, was a 9mm scale version of 40K. It was designed to
oh my god!
It was basically designed to have tiny ass, like a squad of Space Marines was like 5 9mm models on one base. And
I'd lose that shit.
And it was basically like, oh, you want to do a battle at the scale of those codex covers? This is it. It was like before they did, Apocalypse rules, which uses the standard 28mm. That's what Epic 40K was for. But so this was so the model you're looking at is designed on that.
SWAT deploying.
Oh,
Rick Sager has joined the crusade.
Hey, Rick Sager, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crusade. But yeah, this was a model designed for 9mm scale wargaming. Really tiny.
I'm literally seeing Sean Connery going, "Let them sing," and the Soviet anthem blasting.
I don't know the actual words.
I don't either.
I will also point out, because you can see a little bit protruding off the right side there, I think there's actually a pair of smaller gun turrets on the sides of this, on like the sides of this thing.
Yeah, there is. It looks like heavy stubbers. There's like heavy stubber turrets.
Like a pair of twin heavy stubbers, like to provide a little bit of covering fire for this thing.
You might as well. It's not like you had a room in the turret.
Yeah, but that was the Ragnarok. Now we're going for something that only ever existed in Epic 40K. It never had a proper 32mm scale model.
That Ragnarok got confirmed on a Monday morning by a hangover crew. Okay,
all right.
They looked at it and said, "Yeah, whatever, man. We'll just."
We're gonna load up 2 images this time. Time for the newest addition to the Imperial Guard, the Rogaldorn, and his colossal chain blade.
So we got the commander. I don't know why they have a separate gun mantlet, like this thing's a tank destroyer. You would integrate that into, because it again presents a shot trap.
Yeah.
We've got a rotary. We got like, bro, I heard you like guns, so we're gonna put guns on your guns.
Yeah. Okay. Grand total. You have one. It's a battle cannon of some description. You've got one battle cannon, one coax autocannon. You've got a Punisher Gatling gun, in a casemate. You've got, just below that, to its left and right, are 2 melta guns, and then you've got
they are, aren't they?
And then you've got 2 pintle-mounted weapons on either side, which can be either a multi-melta or a heavy bolter.
And then we've got
and you've got the Lord's machine gun, the M2 up top.
In the worst place you could possibly put it, you're gonna shoot everything. What are you gonna shoot with that?
It's like okay. What friendly fire incident do you want to cause? Do you want to cause the gunner, the captain, or this fucking front sight, church steeple shaped front sight mechanism?
Okay, yeah. So you've got the doghouse, like you said, church steeple. You got the front mantlet. You've got the loader. Anywhere you point that thing, You're gonna blow somebody's freaking head off or blow a valuable piece of equipment off.
I need to close the media share. You've probably seen the source meme for this. Hold on.
I do like the extra touch. They bolted a road wheel to the top of the turret. That is a thing that we did.
Okay,
we would bolt the spare road wheel up there.
Okay, hold on. Right, let me find. Oh, of course, it's on Facebook. God damn it! Hold on.
They got all their shit on the fenders and the side sponsons.
Yeah, I need to find this meme. You've probably seen the original version of this meme.
This thing is just
okay.
Wow.
Okay. Here we go. You've heard of the Sherman Firefly? Yes.
Yes.
All right. Have you ever seen this meme of the Sherman Firefly?
Is this going to be on Twitch or in chat?
It's going to be on Twitch. Give it a sec. Just give it a couple seconds. Yeah, because I want everyone to see this. It's like this a British soldier. You know, it's like the 17-pounder won't fit, and it's like Churchill, put it in sideways. The radio won't fit, Churchill, cut a hole and have it stick out the back. The engine's no good. Get 5 car engines and put them together. It's like glowing eyes, fucking Winston Churchill. It's the
oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's the Sherman Firefly, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just oh man, it's just goofy.
Yeah, so you've seen it, right? You seen the image?
Yes.
Okay. Now here's they made a version of that meme, but for the Rogel Dorn. It's a tech priest. My lord, the anti-tank cannon won't fit. Lord Creed, put it in sideways. The Voxcaster won't fit. Cut a hole and have it stick out to the right. There's no place for the gunner. Put him behind. Glowing eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I know that's a really popular thing in World War II movies where the commander hops out and is operating the Maudus.
Yeah.
But generally, that wasn't the more practical way to do it. Whoever designed that tank was way too happy about sticking guns on stuff.
And yeah, he's right too, because if you notice, because I've got the image of the Rogel Dorn back up. If you look to the side of the tank commander, you know, pointing like over there, you know, you'll notice the Voxcaster sticks out the side.
Yeah.
Like the Sherman Firefly meme really does apply to this thing, you know. It's not the only version of the Rogel Dorn too, because you know I just showed you the version with the battle cannon. So this is one of the other some of the other loadout options. You know this one has the heavy bolters, the pintles. The multi-meltas are replaced by heavy stubbers. The Gatling cannon is replaced by like a little baby version of the Demolisher cannon.
The other thing with the side sponsons, and it's just my tanker autism.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get in there.
Yeah.
The suspension system is in your fucking way.
I can
actually see the road wheels. There's top support rollers too.
The only way I can imagine those pintle mounts working is if it's some kind of remote system further in the tank.
Yeah, and you can't and there's also no sight system.
Yeah.
How are you aiming anything?
Well, I mean, okay. This is something I've actually learned. You know that you see that little silver? It's like that little nib above the barrel of the bolter.
I keep hearing that. Then why do they put a scope on it?
Well, I know.
Or iron sights.
I know you've probably heard, but for those who don't know, that little silver nib atop the right above the barrel of the heavy bolter is supposed to be the sensor that, say, if a space marine is shooting, it's feeding into his helmet, and it's how he can aim without actually shouldering the gun.
I always loved it. Then they put a scope on it, and then they put an iron sight right in front of the scope.
Yeah, because
guys. Oh, I just noticed there's a side window.
Yeah, there's a little side window that's just begging to be shot.
To what purpose?
For what purpose?
I just and again we have that mantlet, and it looks like infrared lights or maybe sight systems
Yeah,
rigged up.
You've got two
right above the guns.
You've got no, you've got two. You got the little church steeple shaped one on the right side. Their left, our left, their right. But then next to the gunner, you've got the little red one, and then you've got two.
And then we got two on the gun mantlet.
Yeah, between the two guns. Those are I want to say those are like heavy autocannons or something like that.
Who knows?
It
just.
Yeah,
that could be the loader. That's probably supposed to be the loader behind the searchlight.
Yeah,
would be my guess. But then that means the gunner is in front of the tank commander, somehow crammed sideways.
Somehow, somewhere. Unless that is the gunner in their little private cupola there.
But then you'd have to have a loader though, and you would want the gunner to have the most direct line to the sight, because the more shit you put between, like a camera or wiring, the more that can break.
Yeah.
Even in modern equipment, you literally line up. The gunner sits right behind their sight system.
Yeah.
Because if it breaks, you have what's called the gas, the gunner auxiliary sight.
Yeah.
It's a telescope. That's all it is a 10-power telescope.
All right.
So,
moving on a little bit. We're going back to the Vrax Siege of Vrax series of tanks. When it pops up, this is the Valdor Tank Hunter. This is just right off the bat, I'll let you know, this is another energy weapon. When it pops up, it's also got a Bren gun on it. But what this is, the weapon on this is very specifically called a neutron laser. So, despite calling it a laser, it's not actually a laser. It's not like a las cannon, which is a beam of coherent light. This is basically a particle accelerator.
We've got the hoses again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So this thing is a giant particle accelerator. It accelerates charged neutron particles to the speed of light.
Considering the maintenance quality of the Imperium, there's no way this could go wrong.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, because it's a giant electromagnet. It's like a rail gun. It's like a coil gun, but that's all a particle accelerator is. But it's
every time they turn the magnet on, the commissar shits his pants to forget who he is for half an hour.
Yeah. Don't go into this thing with a pacemaker. But that said, and it accelerates charged neutrons down the barrel, and then those just evaporate everything in their path. This thing is designed. This thing and the previous one we saw with the las cannon can hunt Titans. Like, that is part of their something they can do. They can hunt Titans.
That is a goofy ass weapon. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, hey, what are you gonna be on? Oh, you're gonna be on the death machine. Yeah,
I can only imagine those pipes are for cooling, because like again, it's a giant particle accelerator. It's firing a neutron particle beam. That thing must generate a fuck ton of heat. But
so, hey, how come there's no lights in the tanks? Don't worry, you'll start glowing in a week.
Yeah. Oh no. Fun thing about neutron particle beams. When they hit things, they cause what's called neutron scattering. Do you know what that is? Y'all motherfuckers like gamma radiation.
Yeah, but we know what happens if you get enough gamma radiation, man.
Yeah, you die.
You get real big. No, you get real big and green, man. I've watched the movies. Don't lie to me.
Hey, okay, so he's saying if I fire this thing, I can become a kaiju.
Or a Hulk, yeah.
Or a Hulk. Hulk is my favorite Marvel hero, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, that's that one. Now we're on to the one you've probably just been waiting for.
Oh god, I'm dreading.
Oh no. It's the big boy, the classic. We saw one in Space Marine with the commander on top yelling to his men.
Oh, yeah.
11 barrels of hell. It's the
Bro,
Bane
I
Blade.
heard you like guns. Again, we have all kind of space problems here.
Well, okay. First of all,
it would have to be remote operated.
well, I mean,
The
first of all,
side weapons have to be remote operated.
yeah. First of all, it's got the same basic number of guns as the Rogel Dorn, except I will say it is better about having the space to have them all a little bit. Except the heavy bolters are now double barrel.
It looks like it's got a 105 as a coax.
Yeah, it's got
which is terrifying.
Yeah, it's got a giant battle cannon. It's got, I don't know what that coax cannon would have to be a 105.
That's got to be a 105. So it's like, oh my god.
It's got the prerequisite demolisher cannon because of course, and it's got two sets of pintle mounts. The lower it's got a pintle mount, two pintle mounts. Each one has a dual heavy bolter. So that's 2 1-inch guns. And then it's above that. It's got it's got a little turret above each pintle, and each one has a las cannon.
Oh, shut up, Ash! You're trolling now.
Hey, Ash, this tank looks. Hey, listen, I am not one to question the God Emperor's design. Okay, that's what CN's here for.
It's just, but it's like, oh god, yeah, there's got to be remote guns. Those top independent turrets have to be remote.
Yeah, there's no way you could fit a gun.
Or it's a brain jar. As somebody said earlier.
I mean, actually, if they are remote operated, they probably do have a brain in there. Let's be real.
They've got periscope windows again because reasons. There's a turret. There's one of your aluminum door turret above those periscopes.
Yeah, like right next to the main gun.
To get in, so if they spin that turret too fast, you're screwed.
I can only imagine that's like an emergency exit, or for when they're, because Bane Blades have a lot of crew, or like when they're for everybody's.
It's like 10 or 11 crew, isn't it?
It's something like that, yeah. Because you notice they got like just in front of the bolter pintle mount. Or bolter sponson, they've got another hatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have to get all those people in the tank somehow.
Oh, I just noticed next to the front demolisher gun, they've got another bolter.
Yeah. So 3 triple double heavy bolter. 6 heavy bolters when you count it all out.
I love the idea. Don't get me wrong, as a tanker, I love the idea. I want to command this thing. If I'm going to go, I'm going out 100%. You're like, on full fuck you mode.
You're like Ant-Man's daughter getting her birthday present. It's so ugly. I love it.
Yeah. It's like, if I'm going to go out, I want to be able to demolish all the things.
You want to go out mowing over heretics with this 11-barreled super tank.
I mean, you've got to be like at least a company commander just for the sheer number of crew crammed in that thing.
Yep.
I mean, there's even back hatches. Those could be access to the engine, or they could just be where you put the spare crew.
All right,
you need more crew.
Okay, now we're getting into variants. The next one that's about to pop up on your screen is the Bane Hammer. This is a I want to say this is a siege cannon variant of the Bane Blade. So it replaces the main gun with a giant fuck off siege gun.
Bane Blade!
Yes, see that, exactly. Yeah, dude, give the stream a bit to catch up for you so you can see what this thing looks like. By the way, if you liked rear mounted barrels on your tank, this one's got 4.
I know, Likey. No, that's just, that thing's hideous.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like if that one was basically just a 40k Sturm Tiger before was a Sturm Tiger. This is a Sturm Tiger that's been eating its Wheaties. Like, look at that thing.
There's just so much fuckery.
Yeah, it's like,
it's just,
I will say,
I don't know where to look first.
and this one really calls the ammo thing into question. I cannot imagine how big those shells are.
I mean, you would need 2 or 3 crew and a chain hoist
To get those
just
shells
to
up
load
there.
the shell.
Because remember,
Yeah.
because we've been mentioning Sturmtikers so much in relation to the Demolisher cannons and their big brothers. Remember, fun fact about the Sturmtiker: they had to physically open the back of the tank in order to maneuver the shell into the barrel.
Well, the other thing too, and this is, I know this is taking the TISM up to 11. If you need to work on the track, how?
Yeah. I mean, one of those track sections must weigh like a trillion tons.
Well, not just that, you can't get it. Like, for example, the M1, the skirts open. You can open the skirts to get at the track.
Yeah, you need that. Like,
This is all bolted. The armor's bolted.
I didn't even think of that. There's no way to get in there to maintenance it.
You can't get to the support rollers. You can't check the track effectively. If you need to open it to work on the lower track, there's nothing to open on the. Oh, no, that's not true. Those lower panels hinge up. Those actually hinge up. You can raise those.
Yeah, fun. Speaking of, fun lore fact about the Baneblade and its variants. The ability to produce Baneblades is a rare honor for any Forge World or any Baneblade variant. It takes a year to assemble a Baneblade variant from the forges.
I can believe it.
Yeah, it's why the whole thing from Dawn of War Soulstorm, where this backwater ass planet, not Cronus, that was Dark Crusade. It was Karava in Soulstorm, had just 100 Baneblades lying around that they chipped off, and then like their whole thing is kick up Baneblade production. That's why that was like didn't go over well with like 40k fans, because like there's no way this little backwoods ass fucking North Dakota town equivalent of a fucking planet is producing Baneblades in such quantities, let alone.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's I mean, the first one, yeah, as impractical it is, if I'm going to command a tank, I want all the tank. I don't want most. I want basically a company of tanks in one vehicle.
All right, next variant coming up. This is the Bane Sword. You're probably noticing the theming with the naming here. Bane Blade, Bane Hammer, Bane Sword.
I mean, it's a fixed gun. There's actually room for the recoil, assuming it ejects the shell casing out the ass end, which again is not an impractical thing.
Yeah. If you got your rear mounted barrels, you got to have those.
Yeah, I don't know how much that's. What, 5 minutes of fuel each?
Yeah.
I love the ladder. That's completely impractical, but absolutely hilarious.
I mean, impractical maybe, but you got to get. I mean, look, you got to get up and down off this thing somehow.
Okay, is that Steel Legion, but they put it on upside down?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No. This is Armageddon Steel Legion. That's a Steel Legionnaire in the cupola.
Yeah,
there.
but I'm looking at the insignia on the side. It looks like it's upside down.
It is upside down. What the fuck? Oh
Okay,
my god!
so.
Forge World, what the hell? Also, so
See, those 427 books taught me something.
You see, now on weaponry, the main gun is called a Quake Cannon. We're going to find out what that does now. The Quake Cannon is a giant artillery piece mounted on Imperial Titans and super heavy tanks. Used to engage targets extreme range, able to hit targets up to 24 kilometers away with acceptable accuracy. Each shot oh my god, listen to this. Each shot contains a fragment of a planet that has been subjected to exterminatus, drawing the contained earth-shattering power out and containing the blast wave within a quake shell. One shot of a quake cannon can punch through meters-thick citadel gates and level entire buildings.
So this is literally designed to attack oh god.
The shell draws upon the death scream of a world, and that is its explosive force.
So this is literally like something you attack a hive with.
Yeah, this is another Titan grade weapon, basically.
I love the commander. Fuck you. What was the thing about the animals or the something like, hey, Bob, what's your name? Bob. Fuck you, Bob.
Yeah, no, I imagine. I can only imagine, like, you know, like, this thing is like, again, this thing is chucking pieces of exterminatist planets at people, and I'm guessing I'm guessing it's like it contains like the death cry of a world. That's a thing that can exist in 40K, by the way.
Yeah, it's basically psychic energy.
Yeah,
it?
yeah. It's the Quake Cannon's shell. The explosion is caused by concentrated psychic death energy.
And once again, we have part of the radio system outside.
Yeah. I actually I noticed the Aquila there. The Aquila there.
Yeah.
That is actually a
it looks like an antenna or
it's a satellite dish. It's a satellite dish.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's a nice little detail. But yeah, that's that variant. All right, okay, now we're taking a break from Baneblades. This is another epic 40K model. You read the Gaunt's Ghosts, right? Oh, of course you have.
Yes.
We were talking about you reading fucking.
Don't! Oh God, you had to put this piece of shit up.
Okay. Remember? okay. Remember General Drevere from the first book.
Yes.
It's like he's not even halfway done with his coffee, and he's like, "Oh, it's gone cold. I'll have to get more coffee while I send the ghosts to die because I don't like them." You know,
he had him dump out like the entire samovar of it or something.
Yeah.
Throw it all away.
This is a capital Imperialis. This is what he was in the whole time. It is a giant mobile command bunker. That's basically what it is.
It is the. I mean, in the 40K world, this may hold, in my opinion, the stupidest vehicle ever created.
Yeah, it's like what? It's like I get keeping command mobile to keep going with the front line, right?
Right.
But this, you decided to uproot the command bunker, put it on treads, and take it with you.
Well, again, your one obvious weapon system fires forward and down.
I want to say that's just a really big battle cannon of some kind.
Right. It really can't fire anywhere but slightly down and forward, maybe a little to the left and right. But
yeah, like
you've got a ramp big enough to march a small Titan into.
Yeah, that's
why.
That
you need a ramp
I want to say that's because these things can carry troops.
Yeah, but I mean, still troops. You don't. Unless the troops are 15 feet tall, you don't need a ramp that big.
The other thing with the cannon too is like, I can't imagine trying to put this thing in the front line unless like this thing is only on the front line if shit's gone to shit, you know. So I can imagine because of that, that's why I'd want to give the cannon such elevation so it can actually hit out that far.
And since we're gonna go down this road, let's not discuss the ground pressure of this.
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Like
the Baneblade suffers from that same problem. But
like
this,
it's like one of the reasons you could never have mechs is because of the
it's
ground
gonna
pressure.
sink out of sight. Yeah.
It's like you'd sink through the dirt and could trip and fall and just. Yeah, it's the reason you don't have a 100 plus ton war machine standing on legs. You know, as cool as mechs are.
I've seen M1s on blacktop sink.
Yeah, M1s.
The blacktop on a hot day will sink into blacktop.
Yeah. The M1 designed to have, you know, to handle the ground pressure and still has that problem. You can only imagine it with this.
The Germans would get so mad at us when we'd go out and road march because we would just
fuck up the roads.
Fuck the roads up so bad. They're screaming at us.
All right.
So that thing, that's gonna just sink out of sight. That's why they put the. Oh my god.
Okay. I'm guessing you just saw the next tank.
The Doom Hammer.
Yeah, the Doom Hammer. No relation to Ogrim Doom Hammer from fucking Warcraft, but this is the Doom Hammer. This is another Baneblade variant. I don't hate this thing.
I don't hate this.
This is our first energy weapon,
My
Baneblade.
my wife's see that, and that's the thing. It's an energy weapon, which means you don't need all the recoil room. You don't need all that.
Yeah.
I mean, you put some big ass cables in there, but
this thing, that big main gun is effectively a Titan scale melt-a-gun.
yeah. So
your multi-melta on your heavy that you love so much.
yes,
Titan scale.
yeah. So again, I'm not hating this thing because at least there's some logic to the design.
Yeah, Adam Fire, thank you. It's called a magma cannon.
Red hot magma.
Liquid hot magma.
So yeah, again, there's a practicality, except that every time that magma gun fires, the driver vaporizes. But
Well, I mean, melta-guns are. I want to say the melta-guns vary between either firing a kind of like fusion fuel forward, or they're like microwave cannons.
they put a goddamn periscope.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like random shit.
Exactly, Pip. Imperium Tank Commander Craven Hot Pockets at 3 a.m. They whip this thing out.
It sounds like we used to start our tank up. We get hungry. What do you start the tank for? I'm hungry, man. I'm gonna eat this MRE up. Woo! Burning fucking 50 gallons of fuel to cook dinner.
It's like, hey Bob, what is it, Tony? Fire the mega plasma cannon and eat something to cook my MRE on.
You know what? It wouldn't be the stupidest thing I've seen troops do.
Yeah.
Joes will be Joes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, like I said, not hating this thing. It's just it makes some sense.
All right, next variant is the Hellhammer. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna need to back up a little bit. Give me hold on. Hellhammer cannon. I want to see specifically what this thing fires. But yeah, this is the Hellhammer. This version. I also noticed they keep placing the pintle mounts in different spots.
Yeah. That's again this. I mean, this at least it can cover the flanks. There's still a big ass gaping hole in the back.
I feel like because the pintles on this one are double multi-meltas, I almost feel like putting them further forward is a good idea because they're short range.
Yeah.
But right, so this thing, yeah, you've got this contraption on the front, the Hellhammer cannon. It is a heavy siege cannon. It has shorter barrel and heavy gauge suppressors allowed to fire extremely high caliber shells without ripping the vehicle apart. The shells fired by a Hellhammer contain an unstable subatomic charge at their core, allowing them to smash apart enemy. It is directly at the last three words: miniature nuclear explosion. This thing fires.
Unstable nukes.
This thing is literally a main gun that it just fires fucking Davy Crockett rounds.
Oh my god, I this is so stupid. I actually like it. It's just so retarded.
God bless the Imperium of Man. I love them so much.
Hey, troop, what? Don't drop that round. Why not? Trust me.
Do you want to see a sunrise? This thing
in the tank.
This thing literally just it is just hucking nukes at people. Like I'm imagining maybe like half kiloton nukes or something like that.
This is oh my, and that's why I love people when they're like, actually, this other setting has much more powerful equipment.
Oh, you mean like
have no idea?
You mean like
fucking idea?
Oh, you mean like that motherfucker having a meltdown earlier over the fact people said a Space Marine could beat Commander Shepard in a fight? That guy?
He would just rip him in half.
Yeah, it's like he could beat him naked. He doesn't need his power armor. I'm sorry.
Shepard might like that, though.
I like Commander Shepard. He's one of my favorite heroes. I'm sorry. A bolt round from a Space Marine is going to even if the kinetic barrier stops it, it's going to collapse and won't stop the explosion that's now rushing at him. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be like that the Astartes video when they fired all the rounds and the guy stopped them in the shield. But
Okay.
they were still firing.
Yeah,
they were still trying to come in.
Captain Pip says, Captain Pip, the enemy at 11:30 p.m. is just that image of the dude waking up with the light in his face when they're fighting this thing.
We have our periscopes. I just can't not notice them anymore.
Also the giant searchlight or IR sight or whatever the fuck, it is just bolted onto the side of the turret for a change.
Knowing them, it's probably UV, man. It probably cooks whatever it aims at. They just hold their food in front of that thing.
I mean, I hate to be the guy operating the IR systems on this when that thing fires a shell and then it goes off, because it's a nuke that's going to generate a lot of light.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Like I said, this one is so stupidly over. And I'm like, oh, we'll put some smoke grenade launchers on it because we can hide the tank.
Oh, hey, by the way, remember the command tank? We've got a new variant. This was another from Epic Armageddon, hence the tiny looking model. This is the Leviathan.
God, I hate these things.
Okay. That one had a cannon on top. This one has a cannon on top. Triple double cannon turrets on each side, and the mother of all demolisher cannons on the front.
It just looks like it'd fall over. Just fall over on one side. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Wait, no. You turn the turret to one side, fire the top turret and all 6 broadside guns, and it just tips.
Just tips over. Yeah, it's like, oh.
You know what? I feel like the less we focus on this one, the better.
Yeah, that is nightmare fuel, man.
All right, now here's my personal favorite variant of Baneblade. This is the Shadow Sword. This is the Shadow Sword variant of the Baneblade.
This is the one they wrote in the book, didn't they?
I think so.
In the book Shadow Sword.
Oh yeah, because they did a whole couple of books about these, and one of them was Shadow Sword. The Shadow Sword is fires what's called a volcano cannon. It is a Titan grade las cannon.
Oh, they've got those fixed guns on the side of the turret.
Yeah, this thing is a yeah. Okay, so you'll something you'll immediately notice. This does not have the. Actually, wait, are those fixed guns on the side of the case?
Oh, they could be some kind of
piping.
Tubing or something, or piping.
But yeah,
it's got a travel lock. That's a nice touch. That's a nice touch.
But yeah, this thing, this gun does not turn. It can only elevate a little bit. This thing, it doesn't have. There's no las cannons atop the sponsons. Those are some kind of sighting mechanism. This thing is a Titan hunter. Like, this thing is designed to get into places Titans can't and wait. And then when a Titan crosses your path, you just blap it with the volcano cannon.
I do not turn my tank. I let the planet turn.
the Shadow Sword does not sleep. It waits.
That is absolutely a sniper vehicle.
Yeah, I fell in love with this thing in the Ultimate Apocalypse mod of Dawn of War Soulstorm, because when this thing fired, everything that wasn't tough enough in the path of that beam just died.
Yeah. Like I said, it's that, and again, it is a weapon system with a vehicle built onto it.
Yeah, like you've seen Space Battleship Yamato, fucking Star.
Yeah, it's the wave motion gun.
Yeah, like when the wave motion gun fires, like how every ship between the Yamato and its target just vaporizes. That's what happens if you're something that's not a Titan, between the Titan and the Shadow Sword. That's basically what happens. Just this impossibly hot laser beam just crosses your path. You just vaporize. Like anything short of a Titan, this is overkill against it. All right, next one, the Storm. Another favorite variant of mine. Not my top, but one of my favorites. The Stormblade. This is just a Baneblade with that big ass plasma cannon you saw earlier bolted on it, a Titan grade plasma cannon. This is the one I was talking about where it's like, when you want to heat up your MRE, ask Jimmy to send a round downfield.
Yeah, it's like
like this thing, like, I could not imagine you being outside when you fire this thing. Because remember, I told you that story about the guardsmen who were cooked by a Titan's plasma cannon when it fired. You would have to be inside the gun to survive this thing firing. Like, anywhere too near the tank and you're cooked by the heat of the shot. So yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, no kidding. And again, like I said, since it's energy, you can kind of see where they could work around the turret.
Yeah, like with the Shadow Sword as well, because it's a laser gun, and this is a plasma gun. But yeah,
I'm gonna fire my laser.
But it also draws the question: if you're firing this thing that is hot enough to cook people directly near the shot when fired, with like a good distance away, okay, I get you're protected inside the tank, but that motherfucker gonna heat up after one or two shots, Like,
yeah, I mean, there could be some kind of heat sink system. I don't know.
Because the thing that comes to mind for me is when they rate, when the U.S. and NATO rate armored vehicles against, nuclear weapons, right? They're not rating it against a direct hit. They're rating it you being far enough away that, the heat is diminished and the shockwave isn't going to hit too hard. Because the scene that comes to mind for me, because we have thankfully never had this happen in real life, but in a movie, the scene that comes to mind is the armored vehicle observing the nuke being fired at the one alien ship in Independence Day. Like, it's far enough away that the heat can't get it, but the shockwave still knocks it for a loop. But it does survive.
Yeah, I mean, we literally trained in the event of a nearby nuke, obviously direct hit, who cares? But about turning your vehicle, turning the turret, hunkering down, all the steps between you, getting as much between you as possible, including laying on the floor of the turret, because you would turn the rear of the vehicle so that the engine, the fuel, and everything else would absorb as much of the blast as it could.
Yeah. Oh, also, something Adam Fire points out: the ribbing on the side of the gun is those are the radiators for the plasma gun.
No. The ribbing is for the tank commander's pleasure.
Yeah, ribbed for his pleasure. The pleasure of seeing heretics go up in a ball of light, basically.
Is he Deathcore?
He's Deathcore, yes. He's Deathcore.
I didn't think they would have something this big.
No, they would. They absolutely would. A lot of the Imperial armor books that had all the rules and lore for this were released along with the Siege of Rax stuff, which was Krieg versus Traitor Guard.
Yeah, I've got the Vrax books, and I've got like 3 of the Imperial armor books. I need to go back and dig through them again.
They're a good read, even though they're horribly out of date rules wise, they're still fun to have just for the lore. But yeah, that's like the thing that really struck me about this. You are firing something like as hot as a nuke out the barrel, even if, or maybe not as hot, but hot enough. Like you're gonna cook the interior of cook the crew just from proximity eventually.
Oh yeah. I mean, plus there's probably some level of radiation involved here.
A little bit, yeah.
And again, you're literally gonna punch holes through the air.
Yep.
You're gonna create oh god, here we go with the goddamn miniguns.
Okay, this is the Stormlord. Now this is a funny one. Now, obviously you can see it's using like the giant. It's like the giant. Those are the Vulcan mega bolters again. Like the multi-inch Gatling bolt cannons. But that's not the funny thing about this one. Look at the back of the tank.
They've actually got some weapons. They've got pintle-mounted weapons.
Yep.
The gun shields.
And you'll notice.
He's standing like an open bay almost.
Do you want to know why? This thing is a troop transport.
when you absolutely got to demolish everything to get them there.
I can only imagine like the thing that's funny to me, right? So you've got the tank crew. They're operating the tank, the guns, driving, etc., etc. And this thing is just hosing down a trench line, right? With mega bolt rounds. And then you've got the guard squad in the back. And like the commander's just yelling telling his guys to get out of the tank. He's like, over the side! What? Over the side! What?
Because there's no way there's a ramp.
There's no ramp.
They'd have to but that's a hell of a that's what I'm saying. Is they're climbing over the side. That's a hell of a drop.
But I'm just thinking the poor platoon commander yelling orders to his boys, and you've got the mega bolters firing. They ain't gonna be able to hear shit. Like it's like a burst so loud it'd probably vibrate you violently even that far back. You know.
Okay, yeah, I just looked. I have all 3 Siege of Rax Imperial armor books, so I'm gonna definitely get those a look.
Yeah. Give those a look. That's a Siege of Rax is great. It's one of the better. It's one of the better stories out of a 40K. But yeah, now this thing, it's a troop transport with 2 big fuck off Vulcan mega bolters, because hearing damage is still not a service related injury.
Nope.
Okay, we are. There are only 2 left. There are only 2 tanks left.
Okay.
This one is actually one I'm not familiar with. So we're going to open the picture, and we're also going to keep the lore page open. This is the Storm Saber. This is one I have never seen.
I like the fact they've got a full-size human figure
on the top, just to show you how big this
What
thing
is that funky shit along the side?
I don't know. It's like it's a weird looking. This is like, okay, like, I mean, yeah.
I can't tell which direction it's supposed to be going in.
It is the.
You know what? It looks like it's got a ramp it's got a troop ramp in the front.
I don't know what this thing is supposed to do or what because
it's got a troop ramp.
This one is actually new to me. Hold on. So yeah,
I would not be surprised that thing's a troop transport.
Yeah, you are watching Marshall Bohemond learn new lore live on Twitch.
You're going to learn it.
The Storm Saber is a large, more heavily armed variant of the Baneblade super heavy vehicle used by the Imperial Guard. It is the equivalent to ancient Terran battering rams. The Storm Saber's single giant cannon, which is larger than the Volcano cannon, would not be out of place among the Imperium's space fleets. In battle, the Storm Saber will make short work of any fortification unlucky enough to. Okay, so, all right, I think I'm picking up what they're putting down with this thing.
So it basically blasts everything in its way, and then drives in.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. You know the Gustav?
Yeah.
That giant fucking German cannon that they had to move on railroad tracks, and it took like an hour to load, like 2 hours to load. I'm almost feeling like this is the Gustav gun, but a tank.
Like I said, that front end though is really weird.
Yeah,
it's like it's meant to open.
I you know what? I almost feel
unless it's front end, it could be front engine. I hadn't thought about that.
It could be. I mean, because the way I'm kind of feeling this tank, I don't feel like it's supposed to be at the front line. It's supposed to be lobbing.
Yeah, not with just a single weapon system.
Yeah, it's supposed to be lobbing super heavy, like 8-ton shells
from another continent.
From like way behind the line. Like I almost feel like this is just the Earthshaker, their artillery, their core artillery piece in the Imperial Guard.
Right.
I feel like this thing is the role of like an Earthshaker on steroids. Like that's what I feel like this is used as. Like it's like the Paladin. You know the Paladin artillery system, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like
we're very familiar with it.
Yeah, it's like a Paladin, but somebody put one of the fucking Yamato's 18-inch guns on it or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's about 40K autistic enough. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. All right, so there's that one. That one I never actually heard of, so that was new to me. And now we're on the last one. This is the This is the Storm Sword. Wait, no, that's the wrong image. Hold on. This is the Storm Sword. There it is. And this looks like another siege variant.
Yeah, that's just a siege variant or super tank killer.
Yeah, this is a. I'm gonna take a quick look at what this thing is armed with. Storm Sword Siege Cannon. Yeah. Okay. This thing fires rocket-propelled siege shells, each weigh more than 180 kilograms, with sufficiently powerful to level an entire building with a single shot, typically by destroying the ground floor and collapsing the structure. The weapon's limited range and it's a Sturm Tiger. It's just a Sturm Tiger. Because that's yeah, it's another fucking Sturm Tiger, but bigger. That seems to be just a thing. GW, you love your Sturm Tigers, don't you?
I was going to say they got quite a few weapon systems or platforms built around very similar weapon systems. It's
the whole STC pattern thing, you know?
Right. Because I'd like to chalk it up to lack of imagination, but I think you're absolutely right. Like every edition, they come up with a new version.
Yeah,
hey guys, I know what to make. Yeah, we already got 3 of those, bro.
Yeah, it's like. It is actually, I think, the STCs are one of the best science fiction framing devices for technology that I think's actually ever been written, because it gives the guys at Games Workshop full justification for either the most advanced or backward or anachronistically mixed technology in the Imperium of Man. You can have these big, dumb, World War era looking vehicles mounted with plasma cannons and laser cannons and giant fucking heat rays and God knows what else, you know?
Mom, I want a Sturm Tiger. You have Sturm Tiger at home.
Sturm Tiger at home is fucking jacked looking at this thing though.
Yeah, look, it could launch the actual vehicle from its cannon.
Yeah. So this is big, dumb looking siege weapon, and yeah, but it's like that's really the one that just the whole thing with the STCs is just STC as a concept of the setting is just allowed for all these crazy looking tanks, and it's as much as we've been shitting on the guard tanks through the whole thing, I really love them. They're some of my they are legitimately some of my favorite sci-fi tank designs.
Oh no, they're like I said. I think you would like the Hammer Slammers if you've never read it.
Yeah,
I think you'd like it. 100-ton hover tanks firing direct energy weapons.
Yeah,
that's just right up. But these are just. There's some of them are just so over the top. I can't even be upset.
Yeah, it's like
so
it's like the infantry charge at Clondathu in Starship Troopers. It's like, this is not how a military would operate. I don't care. I'm having fun watching it. You know?
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that the Baneblade? Gazgul Magaruk Thraka. Hey, Gazgul says, is that the Baneblade? The very big, very slow, very loud tank people claim was a scout vehicle during the... Oh, right, yeah, okay, I'm going to bring that up real quick. There's a completely unsubstantiated story that goes around about Baneblade variants, that the Baneblades during the Dark Age of technology were considered light tanks.
Well, then what was a heavy tank?
I don't know where that got started. I really don't. Because it is never, I've hunted up and down for the source of that story. That the Baneblade and variants are light tanks by Dark Age standards. I have never been able to find it. Okay.
Well, it's right up there with the Gazgul, Thraka, Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, you mean the thing that Andy Chambers himself said is bullshit, but a certain subsect of people won't listen.
But no, it must be real.
Oh no, I had the funniest encounter on Reddit with one time talking to somebody about that. Basically what the person said was, he just posted that on Facebook to protect himself, so he didn't have to reveal it was making fun of Thatcher. From fucking who? Margaret Thatcher's fucking...
She's dead.
from Margaret Thatcher's fucking ninja hit squad that go after him for making fun of her.
Yeah, because Brits never make fun of their politicians.
Never ever. It's not like Monty Python was doing that, like, you know, at various points while said politicians were also, you know, in power, or other comedians. But yeah, no, it's possible that it wasn't their heaviest tank. I mean, yeah, I fully believe that that, you know, there's probably some Dark Age shit that was lost that was heavier than the Baneblade. That wouldn't surprise me at all. It's just that the idea that this was a slight scout tank is just okay. I'm gonna put an open thing out there for anybody watching this now, or anybody who may watch it later. If you can find the source of the Baneblades are scout tanks thing, if you know where the source of that is, if you know where I can find it, if you can hit me with a page number and a book name or title, send it to me over Facebook. Yeah, not Facebook. I don't have Facebook. Twitter. Send it to me over Twitter. Or
and Adam Fire, yeah, you might be right. It may be a weapons equivalent. Maybe there was some super space shit going on in the Dark Age that made the weapons on these look pathetic. But
I can only imagine, because Titans had to have come from somewhere, right? That maybe it's a misunderstanding of the fact that, you know, these would fight alongside Titans. Because I mean, Knights fight alongside Titans, and they run a light support, like how you know, frigates run escort with like battleships, or how our guided missile destroyers run escort with carriers. Knights fill a role like that for Titans. So maybe they're thinking of that because Baneblades can, you know, if there's enough of them, can do that for Titans.
Right, because I mean, even compared to a Titan, this thing's highly maneuverable.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got fucking this Godzilla-sized mech, and then you've got an extremely large tank, but still smaller than the Godzilla-sized mech.
Yeah, it can actually neutral steer, which a Titan's not going to do. So.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's it. That's the battle tanks of the Imperial Guard. We've been going for almost going on 4 hours now.
Yeah.
I had initially wanted to squeeze Space Marines in there, Space Marine tanks, but no, we don't have time. See that? I will ask you right now then, at some point in the near future, would you want to do this again, but with Space Marines?
I was just going to volunteer, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, this was a fun as fuck stream, and
as long as you do the what tank where the poor bastard's got the guns on either side.
I mean there are, okay, I will say this immediately. There are at least from the Heresy era, Space Marine tanks that had Gatling weapons, but they are also fully enclosed and they're not designed to carry troops.
I don't know why that cracks me up, because that is like almost a real world military kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like
put the guns on either side of your head.
You don't even hear the burst. Your eardrums have just exploded, and now it's just tinnitus. You know,
brother, do you hear me, brother? I can't hear shit.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that's the stream. Is anybody streaming that I know right now? Because I will raid them. Let me look.
Accenteer?
Oh yeah, he's going. Okay, we're gonna
yeah.
Wait. Oh no, I don't want to watch anybody. I want to. If the pop-ups on my phone could go fuck off, that'd be nice. Yeah, he's playing Darktide right now. We're gonna go raid. We're gonna go raid tiers. So raid Accenteer VT. We're gonna set that up. All right, I'm gonna be back tomorrow on stream playing Nebulous Fleet Command for the first time. There's gonna be nukes flying everywhere. It's gonna be great. That'll be at 7 p.m. tomorrow. I'd like to thank CDAT for showing up to talk to us autistically about tanks for 4 hours.
Yay.
Thank you, CDAT. We'll be back with Space Marine tanks next time we do an episode of Loretism. So yeah, look forward to that. I will announce it ahead of time. Take care, everyone, and have a good evening. Later.
Thanks all.